Okay, so I'm going to just work on a little video as I'm in the kitchen basically today. I gotta try and can that black cod. There was one that was up by the door. So it's either raccoon food, because the raccoon's trying to get into the house to get into the cat food, and I'm sure they'd love it, right? Or it's going to be, I'm thinking actually to make like a fish fertilizer. Maybe I might just, I'm thinking about what kind of container I can use with a lid, with a small hole to vent gases, and just throw in some, tomatoes like comfrey. And I know my comfrey leaves are growing and stuff, so I could throw in some leaves, comfrey leaves, some raspberry leaves, that kind of stuff, and I don't know, maybe some grass or something. They cut the grass and it's in the compost thing. It actually needs to go into the compost box, which you need to do like ASAP here soon, Andre. And throw in that, chop up that fish, throw in that fish and mix it around every couple of days. And then maybe I can use that to water my plants, the ones that I want to give homemade fertilizer to. I'm thinking to do that, but we'll see. I have to find the right kind of container. Maybe I could even use it. Oh no, the next milk jug. Maybe I'll use the next couple of milk jugs, because then I can screw on the cap and just put a small hole, and I can keep them away from the raccoons because they'll smell the fish, right? Either or. Okay, so but outside of that, whatever was in the freezer when I was downstairs is in the fridge in a big pot, and it was all vacuum sealed, so I'm pretty sure they're still okay, because some of them were like half frozen and whatnot, right? I won't know until I open up the package. And then I took out, I guess it was a piece of chicken that was completely frozen, and I put it on top of everything. So that would keep it really nice and cold. Now, yesterday I did go to the eye appointment. I don't know, people. I just don't get the world. There's so much hate in the world. Even I get feeling that way. Oh, I hate this, I hate you, I hate my life. And you know what I mean? Like, it never used to be like that. And so many people are so, I don't know, money hungry and desperate for money, and not like what I mean by like desperate, I mean like that's all they think about is accumulating money so that they can accumulate things, large things like new vehicles and big houses and or whatever, as a signature to success as a human being, with a how do you say that? Farage, it's like a mirage, but it's more like a farage. A sirage, no, it's not an S, it's an F. A farage of substance, but when you go past that farage, the substance itself is limited in terms of, I don't know. We're going to talk about it because, I had another blowout with Tisha. And, I don't get it, people. She keeps holding this stupid shit over my head. Oh, well, you didn't teach me how to read. You didn't sit me down and punch it into my head. Alea May's 5 and she's in kindergarten. She can already read. Well, you know what? I had a little prodigy like that named Mark Kane. I had a little prodigy like that named Shimei. Only 2. Brooks, he chugged along. Yeah, he got to reading and writing, but he wasn't gifted with it like Mark Kane. Mark Kane was reading, honest to God, people, I'm telling you, by the time he was 5.5, 6 years old, he was already reading old English freaking novels like this thick, right? Like the old Reader Digest, but just a little thicker, if you know what the old Reader Digest books look like, right? With very fine print, with old English storytelling language, with different stories within that wide-ass book. He'd come and say, I read the book, and I'd be, oh, you did? Okay, so let's look at this. What was this all about? He'd tell me. he not only could he read it, but he comprehended what he read, he retained the storyline, and he remembered it months later, and he could tell you exactly what it was that he read. That's gifted. Same thing with Shemaine. A little slower at it, but once she got into it, that was it. She got to the point where she was teaching herself second languages in terms of, she'd take the time to write it down, the language, in terms of how it was written, like Serbian or something, because she was dating her first boyfriend was Serbian or something, and he spoke whatever, so she wanted to learn, so she started to teach herself Serbian. I still have her work here with her writing Serbian, and then learning to write it, read it, and say it. I'm like, fuck, man. When I was like, I was a high school dropout. I dropped out in grade 9. I was in grade 10 for maybe 1 month. If that, not even that. I don't even remember being in grade 10, people. Once grade 9 was done, that was it. I became a high-risk youth. I was exploited by the adults in my community for quite a few years. And then eventually, right? Like, I'm talking like 13, 14, right? 15. And then at 16, I ended up going to Victoria for a little while with my grandma to take me away from all the whatever it was that was going on in Alberta. And I enrolled into an alternative program, right? And I remember they wanted me to write something. I wrote it down, and when I handed it in, the teacher said, well, I don't know what you're trying to write here because it doesn't make any sense. Whatever it was that I was writing, it made sense to me, but to the teacher, no. So that was like an insult, right? But whatever. And then... So clearly I couldn't write, right? But the reading I could, because, when my grandma used to give me magazines and shit to read, and I would try and read them, and, I was told to take a dictionary, and if you don't know a word, look it up in the dictionary. Only you can do that. You don't need somebody to sit down and open up a fucking dictionary for you to copy the word, to find it and to read it. Right? That's something you have to do if you want to understand the word that you're trying to read, right? And then there's the source. Okay, so in a dictionary they will give you words that are similar in meaning, right? If you want to increase your word power. So if you want to know other words that are similar, you're going to take the time to read those words, and then you're going to go back to your whatever it was that you're reading. You're going to look at the word. You familiarized yourself with it. You kind of know the general meaning. You gave yourself a list of other words that are similar to build on your word power, and then you pick up and you start reading where you fucking left off. And and I used to do that all the time, people, for years. Like fuck, man. I'm so sick and tired of Tisha and her low self-esteem. Let's beat up on fucking mom, right? Because of what? You didn't make it rich working at a high-paying job so that you could go buy a monster home? So you could flaunt it in everybody's face how fucking rich you are? And because that didn't happen, you want to blame your mom because I didn't beat in the English language into you as you were balking at me? I used to sit her down, like just with Andre, like I did with Andre, right? Go over things with her, try and get her to do shit, she'd do, and then she'd run off, and, and I'd just say, Tisha, sit, and she'd run off, and I'm like, okay, well, obviously you're not ready, right? I can't force it on you. It's not gonna, right? Because if you want, you're gonna be like Marcaine. Because you have to remember, she was number 5 out of 5 kids, right? She was the 5th one. So who wants to learn will learn, because that's in them to want to know. And they discipline at a very young age. Because what? They're old souls? Is that what it is? They've been reincarnated from a different time period where it just becomes natural for them? I don't know. How did I go outside and do all that yard work back in those days? Laying down freaking walkways and building shit and doing all... Where did that come from? I didn't freaking read up on it. Nobody taught me how to do that. It was something that needed to be done. I figured out a way to do it, and I did it with what I could find in the fucking neighborhood as they were tearing down the houses. In terms of bricks and, busted up, cement driveways. I'd come in with pieces of busted up cement driveways and, I'd piece them in like a mosaic. Like patchwork quilt shit, right? Only they were big boulders of busted up cement, right? Driveways, right? Nobody taught me how to do that. Okay, so, I don't know what's going on with Tisha. Like, I just don't get it, people. Like, she's mad at me because I didn't go to Marcane's freaking wedding. First of all, she doesn't walk in my shoes, people. Okay? Like, anything can trigger Amari. She is yet to be there. The few times in the past when she took Amari, she said, "Gee, Mom, if he has a seizure, what am I supposed to do? I've never been in that position." And the first thing I say is, you gotta have that heart of steel. Just don't panic. Like, don't you just be aware. It can happen at any time. When you least expect it. And it's so quiet too, You look at him 5 minutes ago and he was fine. You come back 5 minutes later and he's in seizure mode. Like, you right? That's frightening, right? Now, Marcane has basically been there. I don't know. I don't even remember how many seizures Amari's had. We'll say 4 or 5 of them since it all started, right? I think maybe 4. It could be 5, but either or. It's enough to freak you out. Let's just put it that way. And we'll just put it at 4. And out of those 4, Marcane was probably involved with 3 of them. Because, it happened early in the morning, like one time it was 6 in the morning, or 1 o'clock in the morning, like after midnight or something, right? Okay, either or he'd come up, because there was a couple times he was sleeping. So, we're freaked out, we're screaming, Marcane, right? You know what I mean? Because we still don't, our hearts are like this, like we don't really, we're better at it now, we're calmer now, we're more relaxed, we're more aware of what, right? Okay, so, but for the first few times, no, like, everybody went into panic mode, and, what do you call it? But Marcane, even him, right? Got all freaked out, and, he knows. He knows. Like, he gets really scared because Amari's heartbeat goes really low, and his breathing becomes very shallow, and, he's a man, though, so he's got to suck it up a little more than maybe Andre or I, right? You know what I mean? But it clearly stresses him out. It clearly gets him worried, and whereas Tisha, no. She just goes to the hospital. She meets us at the hospital. Last time he had one, she didn't even show up until the next day because her phone was shut off. So she didn't even know. Literally. I was there all night, right up until 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Finally, she showed up. So, but for the most part, she's there like a bat out of hell, right? If she picks up her phone. She's at the hospital before the ambulance even gets to the hospital. But she's not there with the initial stages of going through what we've been through when it happens. Okay. Plus, she doesn't spend enough time with him to accept the fact that certain things trigger him. Like when we were at that little birthday party. It was too stressful for him out in the park. It wasn't even 2 days later before he had a seizure. And then there was another time when she had the boys for 3 days or 2 days. It was 2 days or whatever it was. She brought them back. But she started hollering and screaming at Andre in the car about school. You're going to grow up to be a bum and this and that and blah and blah and blah. And she's screaming at the top of her fucking lungs. And by the time she gets home, You know, I mean, Mari was listening to it all, right? She gets in the house. You think she'd be done, but no. She went on the attack with me, started accusing me of this. You was screaming at the top of her lungs. I'm like, holy shit, like, get the fuck out, right? And she carried on. And Mari now this time is crying at the top of his lungs, right? And I'm like, holy fucking shit, like, shut the fuck up. As she's, I hate you. You're a lousy mother. You're a failure. You know, right? And then she storms off. Finally, she's gone. And what happened? Not even a day and a half, 2 days later, Amari had a fucking seizure. I told that, well, it had nothing to do with that. Well, yeah, easy for you to say. You don't have to deal with it. People, I can't even vacuum with Amari in the room. Ever since he's been a baby, for crying out loud. It's like I literally have to remove him from the house, but obviously I don't get a lot of help with that now, do I? So I'm always running around with a little freaking broom. Like, come on. I live in fucking Canada. I should be able to vacuum, but I can't, though, because I know it would be a trigger if I let the bloody thing run too long. You can't leave him by himself. That already was proven when I put him in the bedroom that one time. Right? In the morning, I changed him, I fed him, burped him, everything was good. It was like 8 o'clock, whatever, 8:30. I put him back into the bedroom. He was bouncing around, playing on the bed. Andre was on top. I came in here, started doing dishes. You know, last thing I'm thinking of, Amari is going to have a seizure. There was no reason for it, but I go in there after 20 minutes, 15 minutes, because, you know, he was penciled in, he was a little smaller, but, you know, whatever. I go in there to go check on him because I'm back and forth. You know that, people, right? More so now if he's in the living room by himself. I got to be every 2 freaking minutes. Like, come on. In those days, it was a little better. And I go in there, and he's like all curled up going like this. A completely different kind of seizure. He has 2 different kinds of seizures. That one, he was going like this. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Oh my God, it scared the freaking pants off me. I don't think Marcane was home that day because he was at work. Right? So, and then when you pick them up, they're completely limp. You don't know if they're breathing. You don't know, right? Where other seizures, he'll be just laying there playing and puke, and then he just goes limp. That one time when I was sewing, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. For whatever strange reason, he was sitting there. I was hearing his little toy. You know, it's like just the sewing table's there, the couch is there, whatever. He was happy, you know, fed and everything. And, you know, had his little toys, and I could hear him playing with his little toys. I was doing a video, and then all of a sudden the toy got quiet. And then I heard just a little, and I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to look. Oh, fuck, he had a seizure, people. This is what I mean. He hasn't had one since the last time, whenever that was. So far, we're okay, but it's not like I'm trying to egg it on here. Right? Too much loud, too much stress, screaming at the top of your lungs. You won't shut the fuck up, running around acting like you're the victim as you're accusing everybody of being fucking garbage, and that you hate them. And you want nothing to do with them because we're an embarrassment to your lifestyle, because we're not fashionable enough, right? Basically, you know, like yesterday, go to the fucking eye doctor, you know, and I'm telling her, like, I'm gonna see, maybe to have the eye doctor talk to you, because they don't fucking take it serious, people. Because I'm doing too much, and it looks like I'm functional, and I am, but I told her it's getting kind of scary for me. Because, you know, so much so that I'm, here, you want? Take it. No, I don't want that, no. And then when she does take something, do you think she'd say thank you to me? No. Hardly do I ever get a thank you of any kind. Doesn't matter if I'm watching the kids. You know, I emptied out the cupboard, the white cupboard, just because I took out stuff from my bedroom. and I put the records in there, and I pulled out this kind of stuff. So I actually offered this to my landlady, but she didn't want it because she said she didn't want to clean it, and it wasn't real silver. It was only silver plated, and with that being said, she didn't want to clean it, so she didn't want it. I'm like, okay, no prob. Look at this. Now it's silver plated, but it's not real silvered. So I guess I don't know. Like, whatever. It has its own little bowl. If I had more room, I'd love to keep it. I bought it for YouTube. Never had a chance to use it yet. Or I just bought it. Whatever. Would be nice. Not because I'm trying to be fake. Not because I'm trying to portray myself as I have more than others and, you know, somehow, some way, because I've got this, I'm successful. I bought it because it looked nice and it was at Value Village and it was affordable at the time. And I had daughters, and I thought, even if, you know, I got old, one of my daughters, or maybe even my son, would like to have it after I'm gone. Well, now I'm in a position where I have to get rid of my shit. So here, take it, Mrs. Gill. I don't want it. I said, why? She said, I can't clean it. I said, what's the matter with it? I can't see. Oh, well, you need a special way to clean it. I said, so what? Is that silver plated? She goes, yeah. I said, oh, is that why you don't want it? Because it's silver plated? Plated. She goes, yeah. If this was solid silver, she would have taken it. Whether she could have cleaned it or not. Okay, no problem. I'll keep it. I'll offer it to Tisha. I offered it to Tisha. No, I don't want it. Okay. I can't offer it to my son because even if Marina wanted it, because there's been times I've given stuff to my son with Marina in hand, like together, right? And I could see Marina really likes it, but my son, well, I don't know. We don't want it. And I'm looking at Marina and I'm like, well, I don't know about that because, you know, like, looks like she likes it. Yeah, but we have no space. I said, yeah, but, you know, you guys go camping, and it was like a metal case with, you know, camping, you know, basting brush and silver, like all stainless steel steak knives and that kind of thing with the, you know, the pokers, and it was nice, right? And I don't know, we have no space. I said, yeah, but you guys go camping. It looks like Marina likes it, right? You know, oh, okay, well, keep it. I had to convince him to keep it. And it was clear to see that Marina liked it. So I kind of was fighting on her behalf. Would I get a thank you for that? No! Of course, right? But maybe Marina would like to have this. If maybe not my son, maybe Marina, but can I go downstairs and say, hey, Marina, would you like to have this? No, because it's like, I hate you. You're useless. You don't know how to communicate, right? You have no friends. You're the problem. You're invading my space. You know, hurry up and die and get out of my face. Basically, that's where I'm at with it, and I don't even understand why, other than the world is full of fucking hate. For whatever sick reason, just so that people can have more for themselves. What other reason? Because as soon as I'm gone, they can take a fucking sledgehammer to this and destroy it. And ain't nobody gonna say jack shit about it, people. Because the problem is gone, and I'm the problem. Shmay can't take it, she's dead. Sierra can't take it, she's dead. Tisha sees it as garbage. She doesn't want it.
What is that?
It's a nice little dish. Ooh. Yeah. And you can, I have a silverware cleaner. You just, I'll teach you how to clean it. I have silverware cleaner. And for dinners, and people like to entertain. Right? This is when you have nice big tables with chinaware, and you know, that's what rich people like to use. Either or. I got the
the
cleaning
center.
solution, the silver cleaning solution, and I've got...
No, yeah, those things where rich people just put them in the center for anything.
Exactly. You could have
You can even
special...
put wontons in them.
Wontons. Oh, yeah. You could do whatever. Maybe like you'll keep it, but I have no place for it, though. That's the problem. Because I'm emptying out cupboards for other things. Let me do the video. Okay. So anyway, nobody wants this. And, you know, I'd love to offer it to my son and Marina, but I'm afraid of the response that I might get back. So it's probably better just to tuck it away, hide it, and then when I'm dead, there won't be no strife. You know, it'll be like, oh, Mom's dead, and look at that. That's it. They're high in the corner, and I kind of like it, and maybe I might keep it now, being that there's nothing around it, because I'm gone. That's the only way I can leave it to my son, being that nobody else wants it, except for maybe Andre. Right? All right. Oh, and then there's this little bowl. This is nice. Now, keep in mind, I've already given these kind of bowls to Tisha a few years back. Okay? So when she came, and then I had these larger plates, serving plates, really nice, right? Large round ones, okay? Larger than that. She took those, okay? And then I had this other little long thing with these really beautiful wooden spoons, like really beautiful, with some kind of hardwood that's rare, right? And it was well made. I pulled them out of the cupboard. I don't know what to do with this stuff. Right? I'm expected to get rid of my shit. I'm expected to wind down my life. Not from one person, not from two persons, but from many people, including my landlord. Get rid of your books, sell them at $2 a book. I'm like, what? That was like 7-8 years ago she said that to me, standing there. It was around the time when Uncle John died. Not died, but was medically kidnapped, because Mr. and Mrs. Gill were standing right there. And she looking around, and she's saying, why you got so many books? I said, because I like them. Well, you need to get rid of them. I said, why? What does it matter? Oh, well, just sell them, $2 a book. And Mr. Gill saying, shh, leave her alone, leave her alone. Why, people? Because, I'll tell you why. Because in her mind, she knew that it was just a matter of time before the rents went skyrocketed. And the more she could downsize me to make it easier to bring in the bin and kick me out so that she could raise the rent with the corruption that's going on in this province, well, yeah, it would only have benefited her if I would have done what she told me to do. Otherwise, she's going to be paying people more money to haul off all these books into a big fucking garbage bin when the time comes. I'm just saying. Like, people have ulterior motives, right? I pay my rent, you know, I'm not a bad tenant, and you're telling me to get rid of my stuff? I'm like, come on, people, what does that tell you? Why? What's the motive? So that it's easier to get rid of you, so they can jack the rent and start the process over with a new tenant and set them up for fucking failure, basically. Because that's basically what it boils down to. Alright, so anyway, Tisha takes 2 of the serving plates and this other long glass thing with these beautiful, okay, whatever. I offer now I've already given her big glass bowls from before, because that's not the first time I went into that thing and did this. I'm looking at this. You see how big that bowl is? It's beautiful. But I removed it from its home. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, where the hell am I going to put it? You know, it's not like I have any space downstairs anymore, because I've been confined down to 2 rooms where there's... I'm going to see if maybe I can find one specific spot for this kind of stuff. Whether I'll ever be able to go back and use it, because I may or may not be able to see. Well, if I can't see and I can't use it, well, I guess that's when my son and his wife will decide if they want it or not. This one, maybe not so much. I think Shimei would have loved to have this one, but she's not here anymore. And like I said, I've already given these big glass bowls, several of them, to Tisha a few years ago. So she didn't want them. And I'm like, okay. Okay, well, I still have. This is nice. It would make a beautiful YouTube video on my teeny weeny little counter here, okay? Now, I may try, after everything's all said and done and sorted out and put away, for the most part, and I've got more time, I don't want to break anything here. I may have Andre try and put them online and sell them. Those two, anyway. And I'm pretty sure I've got some of these also similar up in that cupboard over there, but that cupboard's too hard to get to. This one I don't want to give away. But if Tisha said, oh, I want it, I would have let her walked off with it. I would have. I would have, people. Do you know how hard it is to find bowls like this? And this is solid. This is solid. And again, I won't attempt to offer it to Marquine and Marina because my son will just simply say, we don't have no room for it. No. Even if Marina wanted it, you know, if he says no, then that's no. But if I can sneak it into Auntie Tisha's room after the fact of sorting it out down there, whether I ever use it or not, at least when the time comes and means nothing, absolutely nothing to me anymore, you know, it may stay with the family. Because it won't be threatening then at that point. Right now, anything that I do, say, represent, stand for, breathe, just be in the here and now, standing here as in a human flesh, is a threat to the people I come into fucking contact with because they're so hateful and so consumed with accumulating money, not this kind of stuff, but money, so that they can, I don't know, be like my landlord. Have a big fucking monster house. Right. And money to say that you're better than me. People like me. People like me. It's not even about me. It's about people like me. And I don't know where my daughter learned this from. Look, even my son. Gotta make money. You know, gotta be financially literate. You know, fuck the world. Ain't nobody gonna care about you. You gotta just go make money, 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 money. And I'm like, oh, great. What a great husband you're gonna be. Consumed with money. I don't know if Marina's gonna be happy with that in the long run. That's why I say, be a simple man. Like, fuck, love yourself, understand yourself. Life is not easy. You know it's not easy. You can see hard times are coming. So, I don't know what you're thinking in terms of buying yourself into heaven, because it never worked for anybody in the past, so it's sure in hell not going to work for you. And, you know, I don't know. Anyway, these two I could see putting online and maybe trying to sell them. How much you'd get? $2 a bowl. It might be easier just to take and put them out on the road. The problem with that, though, is I'd be afraid to put them out on the road because some idiot that's hateful and hurtful would smash the bloody things before they would allow somebody to take them home. In terms of, you know, when you're walking down the road, oh, that's nice, I want to take it home. Yeah, I could see them just smashing the shit outside because of their fucking hate for the world and everything around them, just to be destructive. You know, if I can't have it, you can't have it. If I can't be happy, you can't be happy. Well, that's what I come into contact with all the time. So, yeah. So, anyway, we're at the freaking eye doctor there with Tisha, right? And, you know, I'm telling her, like, I'm scared. I'm getting scared because, you know, my eyes are getting worse. They're not getting better. And, you know, I wish upon a star every day that I'll just magically wake up. Oh my God. Oh, I might have to do this video in 2 parts. I'll magically wake up and I'll see just even a little better. Just even a little better. Versus it getting worse and worse and worse, right? Like when I first started going blind and I woke up and I went out and I'm like, holy shit, something's wrong. And I went to the hospital eventually. I've discovered that something changed in April, and by October I was at the emergency ward. That took me that long because the fucking eye clinic screwed me over in terms of getting me a referral. I wish I could go back to those days, because my eyesight was better, even though I was already legally blind, compared to what they are now. And especially with this eye doctor doing whatever he does. I mean, I know his intentions are good, right? I mean, there's only so much he can do. But either or, like, I'm sitting in there in the office, in the waiting room with Tisha, with the kids, like, you know, not Andre. He stayed home with Leia May and babysat. And Amari was there, and Kyrie was there, and Tisha was there, and I told her, like, you know, I'm getting scared, right? You know, I told you when I'm going to get, I told you I'd tell you when I'm starting to get a little, you know, scared, right? Because it's like you're going into the unknown, and you're very vulnerable, especially if you're around a bunch of hateful fucking people that don't want you around because they see you as a problem. In one way or another. Tisha sees me as a problem. Marcaine sees me as a problem. Marina sees me as a problem. Like, what the fuck? Okay, so I said, you know, like, I didn't come right out and say, well, I did kind of like got to the crunch of it. I said, like, you know, like, are you going to look after me and Amari, right? Well, you have to come to the island with me when I move. I'm moving in 5 years. I told you that. I said, oh, okay. So where are you in the game with that? Well, we haven't bought the land yet, but we're working on it. Should be soon. I said, oh, okay. How much does it cost? Da-da-da-da. I said, okay. So you're going to build a house, right? Yeah. I said, well, how much is that going to cost? Da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay. So you think I can come then, right? But I want to bring Amari with me. Well, okay, we'll deal with that when that time comes, she said. I said, okay. And then I brought up Andre. And then she just kind of fucking, no, I'm not taking Andre. You know, blah, blah, blah. You know, he can stay with Marcaine. I said, no, but, you know, like Amari and Andre are close, right? Andre will help with Amari. No, I don't want nothing to do with Andre, you know, blah. Okay, so anyway, I get into my appointment, right? Da-di-da-da-da. He wants to do the Roto-Rooter. I know that. I told him I'm too busy lifting too much heavy shit. You can see that, people. I'm under too much pressure. It's going to have to be put off. He wanted to do it in 2 weeks. I said, no way, because it whacks me off. I'm like fucking for a whole week. I can't do shit. 3 days, I'm sleeping. Like, it's in my eyes, I'm wearing eye patch and everything. Like, you don't even know. So, okay. I said, no, you know, I got to put it off for a month and a half, maybe 2, because I'm just way too busy. I'm doing too much heavy shit right now. And, you know, and I asked him to talk to Tisha and really explain to Tisha, you know, that what's going on here. Explain to her that it can't be stopped. Explain to her that there's nothing that you can do to restore my eyesight because it's quote-unquote glaucoma. Explain to her that she's at high risk for it, even though she thinks she can see perfectly well at 26 years old, or whatever she is now. Of course you can. I had 20/20 vision too. But her dad has glaucoma, and obviously me, right? Me, different circumstances with the government, with the COVID crap, and couldn't get a referral because of the family doctor, and the clinics weren't answering their phones, and nobody would see me, and yeah, I fell through the cracks, whatever. And don't forget, I didn't get diagnosed with glaucoma until late stage. I was already halfway through the process by the time I was diagnosed. In other words, if Tisha keeps up with eye checks, right? I don't think I found out until I was 40. But I had already lost a fair amount of eyesight. I just didn't know, because that's what glaucoma does. the eye doctor calls it the thief that robs the eyesight. Right? It just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So anyway, he tried to explain all that to her. He even printed out to show how black my octave nerves are in terms of the little bit of white that you could see, where the black, everything was black, and then you'd see just a little bit of white there, and that is the representation of how much I could see. She just didn't care, people. He just didn't care. But he confirmed that don't matter, you know, we're going to try and keep the pressure down, because this one was at 12, so that's good. So everything that I did in the basement for those 2 days, this I managed, okay? This one is still at 30. It goes between 30 and 40. And he did laser surgery on that one. It never worked. And even though I use a drop, it doesn't work. And there's only something like 2% vision, maybe 1% vision now, maybe, in this eye, which is almost nothing. Right? He explained this to her. He showed it to her in black and white. Anyway. So we leave. She busted up her vehicle by running over a rock, and she had to buy a piece to replace that cost $1,000. And I'm like, holy crumb, that's a lot of money just to go around. It's just decoration. Okay, so we're just chit-chatting and whatever, and I don't know how it happened, people. Okay, so now we're basically at home, and she just fucking went off on me. Started accusing me of being a lousy mother. Said that Andre needed to be in school. I said, well, you know, you should really talk to Marcaine about that, because, you know, Marcaine works with Andre, and, you know, Marcaine has accepted the fact that Andre wouldn't do well in the school, right? He just wouldn't, people. I mean, come on. Okay, you know, he's learning at his own pace, and he's still struggling, and you don't want to put him in a resource room with a bunch of teens, 13, 14, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old teens that are on lithium and Ritalin and all this other crap because they're in a special resource room to control their behavior in order to try and get them to focus on whatever it is that they're teaching them, to which they all end up becoming the next generation of drug addicts. And Tisha refuses to fucking accept that. Right? Because she seems to think that whatever she's doing as a parent with Alea May somehow, you know, is something that I never ever did with any of my 5 kids. And, you know, you don't buy Andre clothes. You know, he come into the house with ripped pants. First of all, Andre has clothes. What he grabbed to go to the house, I don't know. I told him where to stack of clothes. He rips out his knees on like almost all his pants, to the point where I can't even pass down these pants to Amari. I'm stacking up pant after pant after pant, like a big fucking stack of pants with their knees ripped out because of Andre. Different sizes. Like I got like 2 stacks. Seriously. Okay? And, you know, I'm debating maybe some of them I might be able to patch up the knee for Amari if I have time, or I'm just thinking, no, just, you know, drop them off at the thrift store and they probably will shred them or something. I don't know. It depends on the thrift store if they'll forward them someplace else where they go to a shredding machine and then they recycle it, or they're going to go into the garbage. I'm very reluctant to throw them in the garbage at this point, so I'm just stacking them. I got a stack over there and another fucking stack over there with all these knees ripped out, right? And of course, you know, because I'm sorting out stuff by myself, even though I've asked her to help me for years and years, still not happening. Doesn't matter. You know, when the wedding came, his uncle rented him a tuxedo, And so, you know, I just said, Andre, grab some clothes, just take extra, whatever. I don't know what he took, but I guess he put on those jeans that had a little tear in the knee area or something. Oh my God, she threw that in my fucking face, people. Like, you know, like wait till Kyrie gets older and he starts ripping out all his fucking knees and all this, like, you know, the fabric of the knee part there and, or whatever, like, because it's all about fashion with her. You know, from my understanding, it doesn't matter if your clothes are a little tattered as long as they're clean. But no, they gotta be like fashionable as if you're, you know, running with the rich crowd. Like, what the fuck? So she's going on about that, right? Then she says, I don't like you, I hate you. Well, I don't think she said hate this time. I just think she said, I don't like you. And by that point, after, and I'm like, holy shit, like, what the fuck? Like, shut up, man. Like, where did that shit come from? Right? It's because she doesn't want to look after me. She doesn't want to look after Amari. And she doesn't want to help to look after Andre. Period. So I think she picks fucking fights just so that she could run away and be free and think that she's some fucking rich bitch sitting up in a 2-bedroom apartment waiting to move to some island so she can forget all her fucking problems. And then still blame me for not being able to read and write properly. Because she doesn't want to sit at the kitchen table like tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of people before her, including me, at 1:30 in the kids are fucking sleeping, working in a module. Even if you have to start at a grade 3 level, you go from page to page, from module to module, to grade, and you get your fucking dictionary, you get your freaking thesaurus, and you study. And you do it for years and years and years and years until finally it clicks, if that's what you want. But if it doesn't click, for whatever reason, doesn't mean that you're less of a person and that you can't be successful in life, because you can. It just means that's not your gift. You are destined to do something else. Right? But if you're going to sit up there and blame your mother for your inadequacy to be able to discipline yourself even for a fucking hour at a kitchen table at 1:30 in the morning as your children are sleeping, as you're a stay-at-home mom, you've had 6 fucking years to sit at the kitchen table for 1 hour a night, 5 days a week, even 4 days a week, and practice self-educating yourself with a basic dictionary, a basic thesaurus, and a little online course, or freaking anything. Fucking anything, people. I have it all in the house, but do you think she wants it now? I said, you gotta just elevate yourself. I said, this is why you're doing this. You're just trying to elevate yourself by, you know, humiliating and assaulting me, making threats on me, calling me down. Like, fuck. He didn't go there with dirty fucking clothes. He went with fucking clean clothes. It's not like you took him to the wedding in his jeans that are ripped at the knee. No, you took him into the fucking wedding with a freaking tuxedo on, and you still weren't happy. Why? Because I wasn't there, so that what? You could boss me around? Without stopping to think about my situation? Whatever the situation is, I got several of them. I got Amari to think about. I got me to think about, sitting there blind as a bat with a bunch of fucking strangers waiting to go home, but I'm at the mercy of whoever, and I just can't leave, unless of course I want to pay $100 to get home in a fucking taxi by myself with Amari, as everybody's, oh, she's leaving, I wonder why. Oh, look at that, you know, right? Sometimes it's just better not to be there. Don't rock the fucking boat, right? It was a happy time. Why would I want to go there and be the party pooper? I didn't. And I sure in the fuck didn't want anybody sitting up there talking behind my back, because we already know they're talking behind my back, because I got too many fucking haters in my own damn house, people. So out of sight, out of mind. Right? Tisha was already dealing with Andre. Whatever. My son's a big boy. Fuck, he's 32, 33 years old. He's lucky to even have a mother. My mother died when I was 25. And she sure now didn't leave me anything. And anything she left me was robbed. It was robbed from my aunts and uncles when it came to the share of my mother's fucking inheritance from the house that my grandmother sold. And then her fucking Hindu fucking whatever he was, quote-unquote husband, beat the shit out of her, killed her, then moved another woman into the same bed that my mother was sleeping in not even a week later and gave that woman all my mother's shit. And all he gave me was old pots and pans. Like, shut up. Like, people don't fucking know nothing. At least when I go... Because you know I want to keep that one. I'm going to try and put it downstairs, though. I'll put it in the playroom temporarily. And then after the basement's all figured out, if I have a little room for it, I'll put it downstairs. And if my son ever wants to entertain with Marina, with his friends, he's more than welcome to use it. Because there's just going to come a day where I won't see it and I won't care. It doesn't give people the right to abuse me. Talk bad about my grandkids. We're an embarrassment to you? Then kick rocks. So I'm back to that. For going to an eye appointment. For asking for help. For making her fully fucking understand that I'm not lying. And that it's not a joke. And if she's not careful, she's going to end up like me. Because both her parents have glaucoma, which puts her at high risk. But she's a knucklehead. So she'll convince herself she won't get it. And then when she does get it, she'll blame me for it. Well, it's my mother's fault. Yeah, right. She didn't educate me. She didn't warn me. Yeah, right. So anyway, that's that story. I'm back to that. Can't feel sorry for yourself. You just can't. So now I have to move everything out. Oh yeah, I pulled these out too. Oh, guess what I brought up? See? Look at this. Now I don't mind because they cook and they feed Andre, right? I just don't like the strife in the house. That's all. There was 2 cases. I don't know what happened to the other one. Maybe it's down there. Maybe it's not. There's out of this Rotella. I think I brought up 1 can. So I think there's still 1 can up here, and there's 5 here. So I took half a case, and they took half a case. But I brought these up because I just did. There might be another case down there because I got like different kinds, mild, hot, whatever. Oh, I bought them on Amazon to try them out. It's not anything for what I paid for them. I'd never buy them again. It's not worth the $1. You're paying for the name, in my opinion. But outside of that, what they did take, you know, like I said, they cook, right? They feed Andre all the time. Not lately, but that's okay. They've been busy. I know it's just a matter of time before they pick up with that. And, you know, whether Andre takes down 2 plates, brings up food for me, or whether he takes down 1 plate, sometimes brings up a little extra for me, or whether Andre just goes down there and takes for himself, and that's fine with me too. You know, like there's going to come a time when everything's all done and said and put away with, where I want to go down and get my food and cook it and, you know, the jars and whatever, right? And yeah, I mean, like, you want to take, like, especially if you're feeding Andre and me, and then of course Mari, right? And then when I go completely blind, I don't know, people. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen to me. I don't. There's people are consumed with fucking hate.
What time is it?
What?
What time is it?
3 o'clock.
You should be home then.
I don't know. Just let me finish, okay?
Yeah,
Leave me alone,
yeah.
please.
Can I comment a little bit, maybe?
When I'm done. I'm almost done.
Yeah, I was just gonna get a glass of water.
So these were in that little white cupboard. These are nice, so I'm going to keep these for me and Andre.
Can I have a juice, actually? A juice box?
Yeah, maybe get a bottle for Amari, okay? He needs one. And I got big ones. You need to ask Mark Kenny if they kept those two. One time Andre and we did. No, not right now. It's not an emergency. Just when you go down there sometime. We made chef salad. Big bowls, eh?
They were delicious.
Yeah, they were delicious. And they got 2 downstairs. We made them special for us upstairs. And we did 4 big bowls. I have 2 big bowls. They must have kept those 2 big bowls. I just want to know if they're down there. Anyway, there's these ones are nice. When we start making bread, I have another one of these around. I got a few of these around. This is what was in there, right? She took the what do you call it? Oh, those nice little wooden spoons. They were so nice. This is something I bought offline. It's nothing major, but I've got nicer ones than this. I've got the real deal. But anyway, I brought that out, right? No place to put it. I have an order coming in from Walmart. It's very small.
Today?
It's coming in between 5 and 6. I forgot to buy milk though. I didn't order. I have to do this fish. I so don't want to do the fish. I'm going to attempt to do it. And that pork. I cooked up the pork, so the pork is in the pot. I'm going to taste it. And if I like it, then fine, I'll do it. If not, it's going to be raccoon
I
food.
just made a Mario bottle of juice.
No, he needs it complete.
I just made this.
He can have that later. He needs it complete. He can have that later with a bit of peg. And then just whatever. I have, but I'm going to put them someplace else because, you know, things get ruined, lost, whatever. That looks like silver. Oh yeah, that is. Look. I have, that can go with my other silver stuff.
That's a nice spatula.
That's not a spatula, that's a cake thing.
That was like a spatula.
Yes, it does, but it's for like when you're doing this kind of stuff. And I have other things like this that are silver, whatever. I'll just put in there. Pretty soon I can't tell really. I can see it tarnished a little bit, but barely. And I can tell by the design of it. Right.
Okay.
Trash. One man's junk is another man's treasure. In the old days, I used to fill this kind of stuff up with salt, whatever, right? So I don't do that anymore, so I probably don't need that. Oh, I'm so not up for this. But yeah, no, it hurts my feelings, people, because, like, you know, like, you better be careful, because you're going to find yourself in my position, and you're teaching your kids how to be abusive towards me. You don't think they're not going to fucking grow up and be abusive towards you once they get... And they're already cheeky when they want to be cheeky. Yeah. The only reason you're all sitting nice and cozy is because they're little and they're easy to control. But once they hit 12, 13, 14, 15 and up, oh my God, good luck. And if the world keeps going in the way that it's going, people, so full of fucking hate and greed and viciousness and you know, wanting to hurt other people and, you know, capitalize off of murder and, you know, body part sales and just all kinds of heinous crimes, right? Or just even to self-elevate your own low self-esteem or whatever fuels people to be that way in terms of hateful, spiteful, angry, over competitive, jealous, lack of empathy, lack of sympathy, doesn't give a shit about anything or anybody except themselves and what they can get while they're, can't say young because the old are the same way. They act the same freaking way. Young or old, doesn't matter. But when you're old and you act that way, that means you acted that way your whole fucking life. And it's ingrained with you. It'll never leave you. Even when you try to have it leave you, you're stuck with it. That's why when my landlady came in, sell your books at $2 a book. I'm like, why? What does it matter to you? I don't walk inside your house and tell you to sell your chandelier and all those little glass things hanging from it. Just use that as an example. I don't ask you to get rid of your dishes, your appliances, or anything. But then I don't have a motive. Right? And of course my kids are mad at me because everybody's on a motive. And that's why there's no affordable housing. So they got to take it out on somebody. So they take it out on me. If it's not something else that's bothering them that has nothing to do with me, and they're still taking it out on me. So I got to stop talking and just, I'm getting ready to can something here. Okay, so I washed some jars. Moved off a little bit off of my little workspace here. Anyway, I want to just go through the little 4 bags that I got from Walmart for 92 bucks. You don't get much for your money, people. Like, seriously, I am so happy, despite everything that's going on with me, that I did what I did over the course of years. Right? Because for $91, I'm telling you, you don't get very much. So, now, I have been shopping around for lima beans, okay, in bulk. Haven't really found, Walmart, I could have paid up over $100. They wanted to charge me tax. I don't know why, but, I mean, you're not supposed to, it comes from the States, from a, farmers down there, right? Anyway, it would have been 20 pounds on sale right now for like $100 or something like that. But then they were throwing in tax, and I ended up not doing it. And then they had the small lima beans, 20 pounds. At the time when I went to go maybe order, it was at 110, but now they jumped them up to 149. And I'm like, forget that right now. Now the difference between the large lima beans and the small lima beans is I guess the small ones are somewhat sweeter. So I'm kind of on the hunt now for small lima beans, but I don't want to pay $150 plus another $28 or whatever in so-called tax for 20 measly pounds. Right, because they're trying to factor in their what is that called? I guess delivery, I suppose. But they jumped it up from 110 to 149 in less than a week. Yeah. Crazy. So I never did get the 20 pounds. Instead what I've done is I'm showing you right now what I've done, but I want you to see what I got for $92. Now mind you, $6 of that was for delivery, and then maybe $1 or so because only 4 bags. I don't know what they charge per bag, but maybe $2 or $1 for paper bags. So we'll just $92, we'll say, take off $7. It was $85 or so, $85. And then a $3 tip at the door because it was only 4 little bags, right? But you know what? It doesn't look like I have everything, honestly. I don't think I do. No. So, there you go. I don't think so. From what I can see so far, it doesn't look like it. No, mind you, Walmart's pretty good at, yeah, no. There's shit missing in here. I think so. Maybe. I'll let you know in 2 minutes. I got some cheap ground black pepper. I have, but I don't want to go looking for it. I have them in jars. You don't get much for your money. Nope. Okay. I bought 2 of these. I like this spice. It's kind of expensive though, $7 a bag. I bought 2. And I already packaged up. I don't know. I had 2 from before, 2 or 3 from before, so this one needs to be packaged up. I already got and I put them in these jars. I try and seal them. Whether they seal or not, it doesn't matter. Once they're in the jar, I'm going to put them away and save them, right? So I got 2 of those, $7 each, only because I like it. This seasoning salt that I like, Hides, just seasoning salt, I had to order off of Amazon, and when I did that, I ordered, well, I don't know, quite a few of them, so I have them in my room, so I'm happy with that. Then I ordered 3 of these at, what was it, $8 a bag, remember? Right? For what it's worth. I'm trying to just satisfy myself with filling up the jar versus going that $100 route plus another $30 for tax, which didn't make any sense, right? And it was supposed to be free delivery. I chose not to do that. And then with the small lima beans, they had them at 110 plus tax, plus they wanted to charge for delivery. I said no. And then I found some place in Toronto or someplace like that was advertising free delivery. And when I went to go place the order, they wanted $148 for delivery. I didn't do that, so I phoned up the company the next day, and I said, what the hell, like, right? And they said, oh, it's a distributor, you know. And I said, yeah, but you're falsely advertising on your website. You're saying spend $50 and you get free delivery, and you know, all across Canada. No, they wanted $148 for whatever it was that I wanted to order, including lima beans, and I said, the hell with that shit. Okay, so I definitely got... Well, I could have just settled for the 2 bags. That filled up this whole jar just with so I got 1 extra bag. So I'm basically happy. Oh, now, for the large ones anyway, I'm going to start using them a little here, a little there, just because I think it would be nice, right? And then we've got the 1 extra, right? So 2 of those seasonings, 3 of these. Okay. Let me show you what I got. Nothing. Nothing. I think I was supposed to get 2 of these. I don't know. Oh wait, maybe there's 2 there. Oh, yeah, there is. 2 of these. which are spring roll wraps, which I'm going to try and do something with them tomorrow. I saved $1. Whoop-de-doo. 2 of those. But I've got cabbage and whatever and whatever and whatever. Bacon, whatever. I can do whatever I want in there. So 2 of those. 3 beans. 2 spices. This loaf of bread, which I'm going to actually show you. Soon I won't be buying bread, I'm telling you. It's just soon. Might be a little while yet because we've got still lots to do, especially downstairs, but I bought something else. I'll talk about it. So this one, and I don't know what it is. I think it's the sourdough one. Andre likes it. And I'm taking half of it anyway. I'm chopping them up into little squares. And I'm going to be making kind of like the crouton type of thing with my own spices, a bit of oil, bake them in, dehydrate them slowly in the oven, and then I put them in here, and they're nice. So I'm going to take half of that for that reason, and then I'm going to do a Maj Podge of 3 different types of bread, because I still got a bit of bread in the fridge, right? So this loaf, right? And I never buy white bread. I never do, but I did today because I'm going to be making the croutons. So I'm taking the 3 breads, half and half, cut them into squares, mix it all up, spice it, a little bit of olive oil, dehydrate it in the oven, and then I have, on top of soup, salads, snack on, whatever. Alright, so we got the 3 loaves of bread, whoop-de-doo, the 2 spring rolls, the two spices, the 3 beans, 2 spinaches, 2 spinaches, and people want to get mad at me for fucking doing food prep. 4 bananas, whoop-de-doo. I've been eating tomato sandwiches. Just bread, mayonnaise, and tomatoes with salt and pepper. 3 nice beefsteak tomatoes, which I'm going to put in the fridge. Because if I leave them out, they start to mold way too fast because there's something wrong with this house. But besides that point, or they're too old already. But there's something wrong with this house. Okay, and 2 boxes of Rice Krispies. Only because I have marshmallows in my room that are old and need to be used up. And I want to make Rice Krispie squares with them. That's it. That's it. That is it. So, 2 boxes of Rice Krispies. 2 little spices. But these are going into long-term food storage. Those ones. And I'll be jarring those ones up with the other ones, right? And I'll probably do it again and again, at least 2 more times, times 2. 3 of these, which now gives me a nice full jar that I can put away and just focus on small lima beans at a later date. Whether I buy them off Walmart for $149 and just cut my losses and get them, because I did the research on the farms, like the product, the brand that sells them, and because I'm, I want non-GMO as best as I can get them, right? And it looks like the farms that they deal with in the United States are pretty good. So the product itself is probably pretty good. But I don't want to spend that kind of money right now for lima beans of all things. But I got this one now. Just going to put it in a smaller jar and just keep it real close by. And I'm going to start adding them here and there in between my meals whole. So if we make something for Marina, like for example, maybe we'll do another chef salad with the big bowl, because I have like the big bowls, right? You want to have, you know, diced chicken and maybe some ham with some cheese, and you know, you can have a little bit of coleslaw in there with a big bowl of salad with some olives on top, and then I'd cook up maybe some of those and sprinkle them in on top, right? You know, just something different. They'd be like, well, where did these big ass beans come from? I'm just saying. Trying to teach Andre, right? And then the 3 tomatoes, the 2 spinach, the 2 spring roll wraps, and the 3 loaves of bread, and the 4 bananas. That was it. $92 and $3, so $95. $3 tip, $92. Yeah. Like, you don't even know. Like, and when I'm shopping, right? I'm like, okay, well, buy something. I'm like, but what do you need? I forgot milk, but I'm okay. I got powder milk, whole milk, so I'm going to be mixing up some whole milk from the powder milk that I have. So I'm not even sweating that, because I'm like, ooh, I forgot milk after the fact. But you know, and I'm like, well, you got to buy something. It's been a while now. That's not your character, right? Get it out of your system, right? You're depressed. You know what to do. I'm conniving in my mind. All right? Go look at the flyer, see what's on sale. And I'm looking. And there's nothing I want, people. Nothing really. This is what I wanted. That was it. That was all I wanted. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah. But I did buy this. I'm going to show you. 2 of them. I'll show you this one first. Now, I don't know if Lady Jane is watching my videos or not, but remember I said I gave Lady Jane some extra money to go off and buy Mama Peter's mom, a cast iron Dutch oven, and some cast iron frying pans. We'll do videos on them another day, but I just want to touch base on it, right? And little Peter a toy truck that she'd have to order. Anyway, she went off and did whatever she did, and she did put up a follow-up video. Now, I haven't, honestly, if you're watching my videos, Lady Jane, you can see I am swamped, and I'm working like a mule with a whip on my back, more than one, okay? And of course, you know I struggle with my eyes, so, alright. So it's not like I've got a lot of time to sit there and do follow-up videos at this point, never mind talk about how to put together a playlist. Because, you know, since she transferred, well, since she opened up a new channel and is now building up her village life on that channel, why do you keep interrupting me?
I'm just getting this stuff.
Oh, my Lord. You know, she's got only something like 6 or 7 subscribers or something like that, with 7 or 10 views per video. So she's probably feeling pretty disappointed. But once I get to the point where I can show her how to utilize her playlist, right, you know, it will help a little bit, I would think. So in the meantime, though, I can't focus on that. I gotta, you know, I got a lot of problems going on in my life, and I take it one day at a time, and I'm getting ready to do this. I'm hoping this black cod is still good. I cooked up the pork that night. It's in the fridge to have the grease rise, so skim off the grease, and then I'm going to taste it. If it's fine, then I'm going to can that. I'm debating whether I should just put that right at the same time when I'm doing the fish, because the fish, depending on the size of the jar, if I do this size, if I do a 2.5 pint or 250 mils, I would do it at 100 minutes. But if I'm going into pint size, whether it's a small regular mouth, which I don't want to do, so I've got a Mod Podge of jars here. I would prefer, if I decide to use a pint size for the black cod, wide mouth versus a regular, I'd do it at 110 minutes, right? However, the pork, which is ground pork, right, with a little bit of something in there that had garlic in there, right, one little thing. But besides that point, I'd put them in this jar. So that's why I got all these different jars here. But for the pork, you only need it for 75 minutes versus 110. But I might just do them all together at the same time and be done with it, because at this point I don't really care. That's okay, it's just water. All right, so let me talk, Andre. Please don't interrupt me.
No, I'm just looking at this.
Okay.
It's cool.
Yeah, so I asked Lady Jane to do that, but she had a hard time finding the cast irons. Not out here. They're easy to find. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? This is a big one. Now I have these kind, but they're smaller. This is the kind, yes, but if you look at this bread here.
That's sourdough?
I think so, yeah.
That one's chopped up.
Do you see? This is the one. Hold this lid. Don't drop it on your toe. This is the size. This is why I did it.
That's the size of that bread?
Yeah, look.
Oh. Perfect fit.
Andre is going to learn how to make it. But you have to get me the other one. Now, this one here is not enameled, okay? This one is not enameled.
So that means no paint?
Yeah, no paint on it, nothing on it. And this one here with no enamel is the actual, to be honest with you, especially with these things, do you see? With these little pokey things, is the best for sourdough bread. Because when it's in the oven and it's cooking, moisture goes up, right? And then what happens is the moisture accumulates around these little spiky things. And then because it's throughout the whole thing, after the moisture accumulates and then it drops down all over the bread. So it's uniform and it makes it just cook better, right? Whereas the other, but this one's not enameled. This is just a straight up cast iron. And I basically bought it for making bread, basically, because I've got other ones that are a little smaller than this, whether enameled or unenameled, if I want to stew tomatoes or whatever. And then, oh, so we got that one. That was only 80 bucks. 80 bucks plus tax. So that was a good deal, honestly, to be honest with you. I need another disc. Okay, I don't know. I was taught, yeah, no, something's blinking here.
What's the...
Is that battery?
Battery, yeah.
Battery. Huh. Okay, hold on, people. At any rate, this camera needs to be recharged, so it blinked out. The battery is... Ugh. Anyway, as I was saying, I got to do this quickly because I got to go recharge that, right? This camera, right? This battery. And then I ended up getting a lodge. These are lodges, right? Which, when it comes to enamel, a lodge product is good for lead levels in terms of they've reformulated their enamel to remove lead where it could potentially be toxic to humans when cooking. So now I have other enamels, whether they have lead in them or not, I don't know. I just know that this one is up to standards. Okay, and it's another big one. This one is a 6 quart, one is a 5 quart. This looks like this might be the 6 quart, right? Either or, right? So we're gonna try and do what we need to do with the sourdough bread between the two different Dutch ovens. One with the cast iron with those little pokey things at top, which is what you want, right? And then we've got this one with the enamel, but it doesn't have those little pokey things. Either or. You can't have everything you want, right? So, and this one here has little clips, little rubber clips, so that you can lay down your lid on it after the fact to prevent it from chipping. So that's kind of cool. Either or. Right, that one was I think $1. So that's not too bad. And once you get them, you kind of have them. So in regards to what Lady Jane did, she couldn't find what I suggested. I only suggested it, and then it was brought to my attention through whatever I was reading. You know, these things can have lead. So then I got all panicky, and I made sure that she was aware that you need to find one with the enamel, right, where, you know, it's food safety, right? And to, you know, educate herself and do some reading and research and that type of thing before she buys. Make sure she buys the right kind of product. And then as for the cast iron frying pans, same thing. Try and stay away from products that actually come from China, because, you know, they will use lead in their products, whether it's in the paint, in the metal, whatever. Either or. What she ended up doing, though, she bought Mama Peter, what is that? A pressure canner. Oh my God. When I seen that video, my heart just went boing. Almost hit the camera there, but it went boing. And I'm like, how, you know, I mean, I've seen videos somewhere in the past where some hillbilly was out in the, you know, on the homestead, I think pressure canning with a kind of almost like a rocket stove. She built herself a rocket stove out of bricks and stuff, and she was actually using her pressure canner outside, doing whatever she was doing, canning something, right? And I'm like, well, I don't know, like, I don't know how well a pressure canner you'd be able to manage it with fire and wood. And I got panicky thinking that maybe Mama Peter wouldn't understand the dangers around a pressure canner. So I'm like, oh my God, you know, pressure canner, she's got to be careful, those things can explode and blah, and blah. And then Lady Jane, she emailed me back, she said, no, actually, you made Mama Peter's dream come true, because she's wanted one for a long time, and she actually knows how to use it. And now that she's got it, and because she can't work washing clothes in the village because it's chewing up her hands and making her sick, and she's got heart palpitations and all this other stuff going on with her, she's going to take that pressure canner and start canning cow's feet and sell it to make money. And I'm like, wow, well, whatever works. If that's what works for her. The cast iron Dutch ovens was like make bread, right? Get her a mill, grind the wheat or whatever, beans or whatever, and she can make bread. And when she goes to work in the village to wash clothes, she can take the bread with her and maybe sell it. And if that happens, great. If not, she can still take the bread home and feed her kids. Well, she never got the Dutch ovens, but she ended up getting a pressure canner, and it's something that she's wanted forever. It was her dream. Like, you know, fell from the sky like a wishing star, right? How do they say that? I wish upon a star, right? Well, I didn't know that, but anyway, so now she's going to start her own little business with her brand new pressure canner. And apparently, as soon as the video was done by Lady Jane, Mama Peter turned around and she started wanting to use her brand new pressure canner. She was so excited to have it, people. And then Lady Jane gave her a big thing of oil, an actual bucket full, which lasted her a very long time. Didn't need to really top off with the food because, you know, we've done that 2 times already, and so it's good, right? We've got them in buckets, and so they're protected from whatever. And she gave her, you know, she had to take her to the hospital, so she used a bit of that money for transportation. I think they paid for a little bit of medication, and she ordered little Peter a toy truck, so I'm really excited to see that. I can hardly wait, right? It's going to come towards the end of June. That was a bit expensive, but that's okay, right? And then she gave her, like, I don't know how, 93,000 shillings or something like that. I don't know what that works out into Canadian dollars. Either or, it was enough money to let her have to buy a little extra food when she wants it, how she wants it, whatever she feels she needs. Oh yeah, Lady Jane also bought her powdered juice to mix up with water to give juice to Mama Peter for medicine, as well as for the children to drink, right? So that was nice. And also because Mama Peter now has a little extra money, she can go off and, I guess, buy her cow's feet. I don't know. And she gets the pressure can, then in her brand new pressure canner, and then maybe make some money. And then she won't have to go back to washing clothes because she doesn't want to. It's making her sick. It's chewing up her hands. And it's making her sick, right? You know? So maybe, godsend. It's like Lady Jane said. Things happen for a reason. Mama Lynn will be mad at me because I didn't buy the Dutch ovens. No, it's not that I'm mad. I'm not mad. Hell no. I'm happy for her if it works better, if she knows how to use it and that's what she wants, and if she can make money, what difference does it matter if it's a Dutch oven or a pressure canner, as long as she knows what she's doing, and it opens up opportunity for her, right? So that she's just not stuck being a single mom, with no resources and just the whole 9 yards with your world falling apart, right? Like, I know that feeling, people. It's hard, right? You can't necessarily dig yourself out by yourself, and even when you try to dig yourself out, there's just sometimes too many negative forces. But she lives in a different country with people around her that are not stupid, I would think. Yeah, they're in the same position, and maybe some of them are feeling jealous and left out, but it takes time. It takes time to build up a whole community. But right now we're just doing what we've been doing, right? And I'm very happy for Mama Peter that she got what she wanted in terms of quote unquote her dream, wishing upon a star. And I'm really, really excited to see this little toy truck coming when it does come for little Peter, right? And then, but when it comes to anything follow up on those videos, I just don't have time, not yet, and so soon. And then when I do that, that's when I'll throw in the playlist and explain to Lady Jane how you utilize the playlist so that you can flip between your two channels and add in your playlist between the two channels to build up, to keep the ones on the original channel still interested with the videos that you're doing when it comes to village life or charity work. Even though they might not go to your other channel to sign on, they will still have access to that. As well as whatever's on your original channel, you can put a playlist into your new channel and add that in. So I haven't forgotten. Maybe that's why she thinks I'm mad, because I haven't done it. No, it's not that I'm mad. I'm busy and I'm worn out, and my kids, they pick on me, right? If I don't get it from one, I get it from the other one. You know what I'm saying? And, I don't know which one's more hurtful, because they're both very hurtful, and I just don't understand it. I really don't. Like, I just don't. I don't. And that's another thing. Like, little Kyrie, my little grandson Kyrie, apparently, if anyone knows anything about constant diarrhea, he's only 3. And before, he's allergic to milk products. That's been established. But for whatever reason, it's gotten worse, and she tries to avoid giving him anything of milk. It doesn't matter, yogurt, milk, just butter, whatever, right? But I guess as of late, she's getting kind of worried, because she told me yesterday when she took me to that, right, that, he never has a hard stool. She says, I'm thinking to take him to a doctor. And I said, yeah, you need to, because, right? And it's driving her nuts because he's 3, and, she's having to change him all the time, right? Because, if he goes for a fart, it ends up being diarrhea, go figure, right? Or if he's not having any hard stools, come on, people, right? And, I wish I had a better relationship with her, but she's not interested. She's really not, people. Because, I've got all this organic food here, like the chickpea, like she buys like those little fish cracker things. She gives those kids a lot of that kind of stuff. She thinks she's doing the right thing. Like when she makes little Leia May's lunch, right? You know, the few times she brought the kids over here with snacks, and she got it all nicely, a little this and a little that, and you know, she really goes out of her way to make it nutritional and everything, and you know, and it brings me back to my days when I used to do that kind of stuff as a mom when the kids would go off, right? And to school or whatever, right? And you know, but you know, like for Kyrie, maybe you know, maybe it's more than just milk products, right? Especially if anything and everything he's eating isn't forming stools in his stomach. But you know, maybe he's allergic to wheat now. Could be, right? Or maybe there's something in these fish crackers. She's thinking, oh, there's no milk product because it's a fish cracker. I'm just using that as an example. Could be any kind of cracker, right? But you don't know what these companies are putting into these foods these days, these processed foods. Not that she eats a lot of processed foods, but, you know, she gives the kids candy and those, you know, convenient crackers and I don't know. She should be learning how to make chickpea crackers. Right? But either or. I don't understand her animosity. You know, if I don't live up to my son's expectations, I haven't lived up to her expectations. Right? And, you know, she's written off Andre before he's even gotten out of the door. And instead of trying to be supportive for his special needs, because that's basically what it's about here, right? You know, she's already judged him and prosecuted him and locked him away in terms of get out of here. I'm not spending no time. Waste of time. And then she goes on the attack and blames me. Okay. And if it's not that, it's you don't buy him clothes. Well, first of all, I got clothes coming out of my yin-yang in this house. Marcane takes him out shopping for clothes. He'll come back with a big freaking handful of the shit, right? I've been sorting them out, washing them, right? He's really hard. He rips his shirts. He rips his pants all the time at the knee. Whatever, you know. And he's growing fast, so soon he'll go again. But at the end of the day, she wants it like as if we were like middle class and never played in the dirt and you know, we're really prim and proper. That's not us. We're more like farmers. You know, a tatted t-shirt is fine with me. Right? Whether in public or at home. Right? Preferably clean, but I can't always guarantee it's fresh. Just saying. Where she's like, everything's got to be fresh. I asked her to change Amari yesterday for me. And, what was it? He had poo or something was going on there. Or take the little, no, I wiped him down and he grabbed the little diaper wipe thing, you know, those little, right? And he had it, right? Leia May said, oh, he's got a diaper wipe thing with a poo on it. So, because I had a face cloth, this camera's going to blink out, man. I had a face cloth that I used for his face and his hands already. I ended up taking that and wiping his hands. And then I said, here, Tisha, take the face cloth and go rinse it out for me and bring it back. And she said, no, I don't want to touch it. It's got poo on it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's because she's having to deal with her own son with this diarrhea crap. But she's mad. So she takes that displaced anger out on me. And I don't like you. She said that to me yesterday as I was getting out of the fucking van. It just comes out of nowhere. Like, I don't get it. Just went on the attack with Andre and started making fucking threats on me again. Said I was a lousy mother. And that this, that, and blah. I don't like you. I really don't like you. And I'm like, fuck. Well, if you don't like me, then fuck, just forget it then. Just stay the fuck away from me. Like, I'll find my own way then. Like, damn. I don't get it, people. She's stupid. She never wanted to fucking learn anything. She still doesn't. And then she wants to get mad at everybody because she doesn't know nothing. Because she doesn't know how to read. Oh, fine. You don't know how to read. But you can sure fucking get your phone working good. Right? You read all these other things that you read. You can set up this and set up that. Fuck, you can do things that I can't even do. And I can read. It's like, don't talk to me about that shit. And again, you know, there is such a thing as sitting at the table at 2 o'clock in the morning, kids are sleeping, grab a fucking dictionary, grab a fucking thesaurus, find some modules, find some workbooks, you know, get some fucking, if you find that's too hard, get something with tapes or something. There's lots of things you can buy online. If you don't want to fucking buy it, I've got house full of shit, and if you don't want to do that, you can register with an adult learning center that will help you with getting shit. Like there is absolutely no reason for you to be stuck other than you're stuck in your own head because you're stubborn. And that's basically what it boils down to. And I've been dealing with it since she's been 2. With her having tantrums. Yeah. She's having a tantrum, and I'm going to drag her to sit her ass down to start doing schoolwork. Yeah, okay. For sure. I don't think so. It doesn't work like that. And even when you do fucking do all the work and everything, and you get up there with a high IQ, and it's easy and you can do it, and you surpass your freaking peers, what happens? You get taken out like Shimei. You get fucking murdered. So for whatever Shimei did, absolutely meant nothing. And then you end up, or you be like me. You have a good handle after all these years of doing the work, doing the legwork, applying myself, not giving up on myself, making myself do it at 2 o'clock in the morning, time after time. Did whatever I did for how many fucking years I did it, to the point where I actually got a handle on the English language, comprehension, reading, writing. I'm fairly good with spelling, but it took like 40 years. Well, 30 years. 30 years to get to that point. I didn't start getting good at it, people, until I founded the foundation. And I ended up writing my own constitution and bylaws, and that's really when I hunkered down. But trust me, I picked up a fucking dictionary when I was 16 reading a stupid novel. Alright? Or whenever. Off and on throughout my life. I used to read a lot of paperback novels, science fictions and horror books and those kind of things. Reader Digest and magazines. And if I didn't know a word, I'd take the time to look it up in the dictionary, read the definition, and if I had an inkling to do it, I'd turn around and I'd look for the companion words of similar meaning. Yeah. But my writing skills didn't really kick in until I founded the foundation, and even then, you know, there's gaps. But I'm not trying to be no professor here, so it's not like I'm beating people up around me for my, I don't want to call them faults, but for my, I don't even want to call them inadequacies. Right? Because I don't try to be perfect and put on there's that word again. A farage. Starts with an F, I know it does. A farage. It's like a mirage, but it's a little more different than a mirage. A mirage is something that you look at and it's way off in the distance, and it's like, right? Where a farage is more like to do with the person that puts on a false face, right? That portrays themselves to be something that they're not. I don't need to be that way. Okay? I don't like people that are that way, because they're either psychopaths, literally, or they're very shallow and have no substance, literally. Definitely emotionally and psychologically damaged in terms of, You know, there could be a thief smiling up in your face with that farage. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Right? Pretending to be somebody that they're not, as they're stealing the minute you turn your fucking back. Okay? Because there's something psychologically wrong with them. Because they do it for the thrill, for the control of it. Right? There's a lot of people like that. Like, seriously. Okay, so let me get on with this fish. Oh, yeah. It's already 6 o'clock. I'm going to make myself a coffee. I got my jars. I put my little doohickey thing on my lid. I got my pressure canner. It's easy enough. I'm going to fill up the jars and then fill up the pressure canner with a bit of water. I'm going to stick them in there. I'm going to do my little dance for an hour and 10 minutes, more than likely, as I cut my bread. And get it ready and sprinkle the whatever, and I cut my bread, get it in the oven, get it ready to I'm not gonna dehydrate the bread in the oven until after the pressure canner is done, because I don't want the oven affecting the pressure canner. But I'm definitely gonna do the, get them ready, and then I'm good. I like those. I like snacking on those sometimes. So does Andre. Where I normally keep them, it actually drops down pretty fast, and it's good for soups and stuff. So, and then after that, I'm just gonna pick away up here for about a week. I'm behind on laundry. I got things I have to bag up and get ready to go downstairs. I'm gonna talk to. I left my son alone. I'm going to talk to him in a couple of days from now to see if he wants to just brace up that one shelf, and maybe that corner unit, we're going to leave it, but maybe he can just put in another board so that it's nice and flat and solid, and then I can start picking away with what's in the hall in terms of like the bread machine or whatever, because I don't know what's in there, people, anymore. I don't, because I just don't. And start taking out some stuff from there, and then I get an idea of what I'm having to work with in terms of, okay, well, there's that, and then I can think about where I'm going to put it and how I'm going to put it after at least those two shelving things that I've got in mind are secure. So keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully he'll do it with, I don't want to say a happy heart, but hopefully he'll do it with a good attitude, and it will be done in a timely manner, and then yeah, because I just want to, there's other things I need to do. Okay, so I've got the black cod, 3 in there and 3 in that. Right? Half a pint and a pint. And then we've got that one piece that I'm going to try and make plant food with. I'll work on that tomorrow. So in the meantime, I put a little bit of salt in there. Himalayan sea salt. Okay. Now, this is expensive fish. This is black cod. I got it off from a fisherman a couple of years back. But I vacuum sealed. So anytime you vacuum seal, everything stays fresh. Now, I'm not going to do this with the pork, ground pork, because it looks like I have a whole chicken there that's kind of unthawing, and which was sitting on top of this. So this was ice crystals in there and kept it really nice and cold. It smells good, like hardly any smell to it, like in terms of like a sea fish. This stuff is expensive. Just with what I'm doing here, people, like I got like 7 packs of cream cheese at $4 a pack. I'm pretty sure it was 7 packs. And I dehydrated that. That's in a dehydrator. I got to work on that as well. And then there was some like apples that I had cut up, and whatever. I pulled those out, and it was really juicy, but I just took out the apples and put them on the tray. So we'll see what happens with that. And then we've got still 2 big packs of bacon. I'm not sure if I'm going to can quote-unquote bacon per se. I've already had 1 jar pop of it. because you know it's very greasy. But I may degrease it a little bit and then save the grease for cooking and maybe can up some of it just even in this size jar, just because we don't want to waste money. Like it's just like $20 a pack, right? Like there's $40 of bacon in there, for crying out loud. You know, I mean, by the time I'm done all this, you know, I'm probably would have been like $150 worth of food. So I'll calculate it out. I'm going to put this black cod at, I almost want to say $100 because it's actually quite expensive. But, well, and that's including that one little piece that's going to be fish food, right? But I definitely, I don't know, I'll maybe round it off at $70 or something dumb like that, right? Because, you know, again, it was expensive. It wasn't cheap. Oh, all right. I'm not putting olive oil in it because if I remember correctly, black cod is a little more of a fatty fish. So I'm just going to, as is, no water, nothing. I'm just going to wipe, and I'm going to, because I'm using pint size, I'm going to do it for 110 minutes. If they were all half pints, I'd do 100 minutes. But I'm going to give it the extra 10 minutes because of the pints. And then after that, well, if I have energy, which I would prefer to get it done and over with by tonight, obviously I'd have to let the canner cool, open it up. I'd have to change the water because it'd be fishy, right? And then I may either do the ground pork plus the chicken, because I'm just going to do it and be done with it, right? And I'm with bones and all. I'm just going to cut them up into pieces and just put them in whatever jars I can. And then that gives me a fair amount in the canner, and might be even the bacon. I'll see if I can do an actual full canner between the bacon, the pork, and the chicken. And that would only be 75 minutes because I'd go no bigger than a pint-sized jar. Is this thing going off again, this camera? So I heard a beep. Who knows? Okay, so I got an hour and 10 minutes left on this fish. That's that 2 packs of bacon. That's $40 in bacon. So what I've decided to do is render it here in my lovely pot on low. And then I'm going to put the bacon fat in a jar. I'll put a lid on it. It says bacon fat on it. And put that in the fridge. Well, the bacon bits and whatever, more than likely I'll just refreeze them into smaller bags and use them when I need them. What else? Because I was thinking of maybe rendering it and then taking some of that bacon, putting it in with the chicken when I'm canning the chicken in the jar. That's what I was thinking, maybe. But I don't know. I don't think so. I think after it's turned into basically like bacon bits, right, to some degree or another, I'll just bag them up into bags and freeze them, and then take them out as I need them, and warm them up and do whatever I want with them then, right? Because they would have already been cooked, right? So they unthawed, basically almost, and they were like half unthawed by the time I got to them. And then they sat in the fridge, right? So they're good. You can't refreeze it, but you can cook it, degrease it, and refreeze the bacon bits, whatever's left over. And then I can do whatever I want with it. So that's what I'm going to do with that. I already cut up the chicken. It's in the fridge. I put it in a small pot. I'm going to do it like I did before. I like it that way. Put a bit of water in it, heat it up, bring it to a boil. It's got the bones and everything. It's all the chicken, wings, everything. And I'm going to fill up my jars. And then the chicken fat, which is a fair amount, I will render that tomorrow, whether I do it in the oven or whether I do it on the stove. It doesn't really matter. And then, of course, I'll put the grease in a small jar. That one, though, I would freeze after the fact, after it cools down. But the bacon fat, go nice in a jar and go in the fridge. Fried potatoes. Ooh, so good. with this little meager amount of jars in here, this canner this thing is going back and forth. I'm having to change the knob like every 2 minutes. I've got an hour and 9 minutes to go. Okay, so basically,
Isabella's mom is even more confused now. Why didn't Ascenta's mom
from what I rescued, oh, and there was one little thing there as well, something else I forgot. I'm going to put it at, okay, I'm going to just put it at, it was a little bit of beef with the garlic and stuff, right?
To kill 12-year-old Ascenta. And this time,
the garlic threw it off a bit, but other than that, it was fine. I'm going to put it at $3 in terms of, well, it was a pound, right? You're looking at $5.99 a pound for cheap beef, right? Whether it's grounded up or whether you buy it as a steak. So I'm gonna. It was approximately a pound, right? Well, maybe a little less. So I'm gonna put it at $5. So this number jumps up. So that's 3, carry 1. So
we would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible.
If I would have just thrown everything out, okay,
they are volunteer-based
because it was no good or I was lazy. Okay, I have to check it, people, because it's moving fast. Because I was lazy to do what I've been doing, right? I would have thrown out $163, give or take a little bit off the cod. Okay, $28 for 7 cream cheese, because they're selling them at $4 a pack on sale. That's on sale.
And a few statements have been condensed for time.
Right.
This case actually takes place in Spain. We worked with our Spanish translators.
See,
to
it's moving fast. This, I don't know, it's just going back and forth, driving me nuts. So I saved $28 there by rinsing off the packs, and because they were nicely sealed in their little, you know, aluminum things, it was fine. Okay, so they're in a dehydrator. I just have to put everything into a bowl, put some new paper towel down, rub my hands in it, just put it in there and dehydrate it again for another 4 or 5 hours, so it absorbs anything if there's oils, right? Because cream cheese is very oily, right? Okay. So I saved $28 by that. $40 with the bacon, because I already told you what I'm doing with the bacon, right? I put the fish at $70, and that's including the one that's going to make fish food or plant food, because that fish is expensive. It's not cheap.
The more I was realizing everything I found out about this case. It's one of those situations.
$15 for the chicken. If I had to go buy a chicken like that, it cost me $15. It was a whole chicken. Now I could have left the chicken in the freezer because it was frozen, but I pulled it out anyway.
They're not representative of my thoughts or feelings.
Because there's ice crystals in there, right?
Let's get into it.
And then $5 for apples. I told you there was apples that were kind of like unthawing. So I just took them out of the liquid and put them on a tray, and they're dehydrating. And then I added on another $3, $5, sorry, $5 for that meat. That was ground up, something I had done with garlic and everything in it. I just put it off at $5, so it was $163 I saved. If I took off $20 off the fish and rounded off at $50, I still would have saved $143. Well, I did save it. I didn't throw it out, people.
7 months apart from each other.
I am the problem. Remember, right? Because I didn't throw it out, and I'm actually canning it or dehydrating it.
Ascenta's mom has primary custody.
Or rendering the fat and making bacon bits, right?
TJ's doubt if Rosario can even boil an egg.
If the shit hit the fan, all of a sudden my throat's itchy because I'm standing around this shit. The bacon's starting to cook. If the shit hit the fan, seriously,
she's kind of a mess.
Earthquake, anything.
But now Ascenta is walking.
Cost of food, whatever. Supply chain completely shut down because of World 3. Who knows? Do you know what the first place Tisha would come to?
I didn't have hay fever.
To help feed her kids?
Nobody wants to tell me the truth anymore. I was
Right here.
asleep for hours and hours and hours.
She'll love me then.
Gail watches Asanta
But until
just
that happens-
stumble away as if she's sleepwalking. And that is so strange.
It would have to be pretty
September
fucking dark.
21st, 2013.
Is she not interested in learning this kind of stuff,
in
people?
Santiago, Spain. Most
She
people
thinks
in town, they know
it's
this couple
below
well.
her.
It's the wife, Rosario
gotta be
Porto.
fresh from the
So
grocery
Rosario
store.
Porto is an attorney. But her dad, when he was alive,
Unless
he
it was,
one of the
like, no
most
other choice.
well-known attorneys
Then
in
maybe,
the
yeah,
area.
because
And Asenta's
you gonna starve your
grandma,
kids
so
or are you gonna
Rosario's
feed them?
mom,
Which one?
She was a member
Right?
of the Academy of Fine Arts in Galicia.
And then once
She
she
was a
started
professor
eating
in
it
fine
on a
arts
regular
at the
basis, she'd
University
be
of
like, damn,
Santiago,
this
one
is
of the
good.
oldest institutions
Freaking
in
right, it's
Spain. It was
good.
founded in like
I wouldn't waste
1495.
my time if
So
it wasn't
Rosario's
good.
parents are a big deal. Rosario's a big deal, and Asenta is her daughter.
Everything that I
Now,
saved
the husband,
versus
Alfonso,
throwing out
his father,
$168
a freelance
or 100
journalist,
and
and
whatever it
does
was,
appear that his
43,
biggest
you could say
accomplishment in life was
143,
marrying
148,
Rosario's
or
family.
168, whichever one you want, doesn't
Nevertheless,
matter,
they're a
right?
privileged family,
Give or
very
take.
elite. They have an adopted daughter, Asenta.
She
The
wouldn't have
police
done
know
this. She
that
just
she's
wouldn't have.
adopted
She would have
because,
thrown a note.
well, Asenta is Chinese. And the couple did interviews about adoptions after they first
Marina
came home
too.
with Asenta, and she was like
Probably
one of
Mark
the
Hain,
very
'cause Mark
first
Hain wouldn't
Chinese
know what to do
adoptees
with
in
it.
the whole region.
I mean, he'd eat
Everybody
as much
knew.
as he could,
As the daughter
but
of a prestigious lawyer family, the genius daughter of a wealthy couple.
cream
The wealthy
cheese.
couple are now standing
You
in
make
the police
macaroni,
station.
right?
Please help.
You mix it in
Our daughter,
with your other
Asenta,
cheese
is
and make
missing.
it tasty.
Later, one of the parents would
You
turn
could
to an
sprinkle it
officer
into
and say,
burgers for crying out
think
loud
she's
and fry it
dead.
up like that.
But I just hope my daughter wasn't SA2.
You can do lots of things
To
with it.
say when your 12-year-old daughter has gone missing for 7 hours. What do you think?
So I saved
And
myself
what do you mean
$168.
You hope she was an SA.
And I'm so glad I caught it just in time.
12 years ago, June
Oh, yeah.
2001, there's horrendous conditions
And if you
that
notice-
babies and children have to live through, and when they grow up and they become 6, 7, nobody wants
That's
to
the kind of
see
shit
them.
I buy now.
That's not a life. That's hell.
It's $7 a bag.
Alfonso are saving Assunta family.
Same thing like this. This $8 a bag.
Assunta was adopted,
Because I'm at that point where,
and she would
I'm
be killed
good.
1 week before her 13th
you know,
birthday.
I'm not saying I don't buy fresh
September
vegetables from time to
22nd,
time,
2013.
or I will, or fruit or whatever, but that's going to be like within like reason in terms of that I'll end up saving money on too, because oftentimes I buy, put it in the fridge, it ends up in the compost because I'm busy, and you know, it doesn't get cooked up or whatever. So, you know, I'm buying less. If you notice, when this round I bought 3 tomatoes, 4 bananas, 4, right? Because, you know, I buy the bananas. Sometimes they come in bruised, like this one with here. Would be great for cake, but I don't have time to make cake right now. That's why I only bought 4, because, you know, they just whatever, right? I'm going to see maybe tomorrow I can whip up a small cake with this or something, muffins or something, right?
Glances out to his window.
So, you know, and the 2 spinach, and that's it. And I actually got spinach in there, but it's been there for a few days, so it's not as fresh, right? So I have to pick everything out, right? And then, so anyway, I'll cook up the spinach, all of it tomorrow, be done with it. But yeah, like, you know, like eventually I won't want this no more. And the only thing I'm looking for now really are the small lima beans, right?
Are they drunk? Is it
But
real?
there's
Are they too drunk
no
for this
rush
shit?
on it yet.
They both slowly
Yeah.
open their doors and get out because
Like if
this is
that
just so
company
crazy
drops
that they
the
need to
price,
investigate, and all the hairs on their necks
if that
stand up.
company drops the
Fighters
price
said
on
they felt like
Walmart
they were being
back to
watched.
$110 for the 20 pounds, even if I have to quote unquote pay, I don't know, delivery I suppose, within reason, right? I should have bought it when it was available at the way they were presenting it to me, but either or,
he starts walking
you know,
towards the woods,
there's no rush on
crunching
it,
the
right?
branches.
And I still might find them someplace
A
else
little girl
and just buy them in smaller bags and
just on a
I
bit
don't
of
know.
pine needles.
But that's the only thing
She's
I
wearing
want when
gray
it comes to a
sweatpants with
bean
mud
at this
stains all
point
over
in
them.
life.
She has the matching
I'm still
top
putting
on.
beans
One
away,
arm
right?
is half inside, and the shirt is pulled
So,
up above her stomach.
right.
She's barefoot. Her left arm is down across her chest. There are wet stains around the private
just
area
packed up
and near the neckline
soybeans.
of her shirt. There are
Those ones
pieces
that are
of
downstairs.
orange cord. You would tie someone up with it, rope.
In the jars.
They've been cut up. They
I
look
should
like they've been
actually
used to
bring
tie
up
the
one of
people's
those jars.
lives.
But as
But
I
now
go
they're
and
cut
I'm working in
right next
and
to
out and doing whatever,
They
I will
slowly reach
switch
out,
things
hands are
around,
shaking,
right?
And they try to feel for a pulse. Nothing.
Or maybe I'll just break down and go off and buy a few more one-size gallon jars, like 2 boxes or something, just for the sake of it.
He has a suspended license
Because,
because of a DUI, and
yeah,
obviously not
my
the best
shops
thing
are
to
like
worry about
completely
right
different
but,
now.
But this is going to sound crazy. We gotta
And the
drive
only
back
reason
to the
I'm
brothel and
canning
walk
is
back,
because
and then call the cops.
of what happened.
Walk home
Otherwise,
from
I
the
wouldn't be
brothel
doing
and
it.
then talk about
And I'm
Yeah,
glad I did,
obviously,
because
it's
I'm
gonna
glad I
take
did everything that I did, because otherwise it would have costed me at least $148, if not
He's already got a lengthy
$160.
criminal background, cocaine charges. He's not trying to go to jail. So
That's
they
a
get
lot of
back
money,
in the car,
people.
drive to the brothel, park
And
the
it's
car,
not very
and start
much.
booking it
It's
to
not
the
very
woods.
much.
They're running
Now,
through the
I-
woods.
Well, at least he's
There's a little potato thing that I did.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, right? Now, this is just Alfredo's word, and he's drunk.
I'm going to include it into this one. They're already dehydrated and in bags, but I never did get into the, I guess they're yellow potatoes or something. That's 10 pounds. I wanted to do the same thing that I did, like I did with the red potatoes.
Because he personally checked for a
Right,
pulse.
and I will. Maybe even tomorrow. Well, no, tomorrow. I think I'm going to can that pork and that chicken tomorrow. I have to wait and see what time it is.
Makes the call. We found a little girl, and we think she's
After
dead.
this is
Her
done,
eyes
I
are
still
white,
got
there's blood on her
45
nose,
minutes,
she's wet
49
herself,
minutes.
And she's here laying next to a gutter.
I still got 49 minutes to go. The canner has to cool, but and, you know, I'll be canning at
Dead.
11 o'clock at night, 75 minutes. I might, just to get it over with. I might.
I mean, who would want to
Otherwise, I'll do it first thing in the morning, right? And then just do other things.
There's a series of
Kitchen. I'm behind on the kitchen because I spent the 2 days in the basement, and then yesterday with my eyes. And like, you know, I only have so much energy. I'm not a robot, right?
But it definitely doesn't look
Oh
like
my
she
God, do you
wants
see
to.
how this, I'm having to flip
In
this,
one photo, there's
right?
a
That's
man
because there's not
wearing
that many
resting
jars in
what
there.
would probably be her thigh. In some of the
So
photos,
I don't know
the
how,
painter's eyes are
I don't know
closed,
how
like she's
Mama
pretending to be
Peter
asleep or dead.
can manage
Or
a
maybe
pressure
she is
canner
asleep, I don't
with
know.
an open flame.
Another set,
Maybe she
she's got
uses
the teddy bear laying
coals.
next to her, and she's swaddled so
Yeah,
tight in
maybe
this blanket that
maybe
she
that's
doesn't
what
look like she
what
can
keeps
move.
it going.
And
I
her
don't know.
eyes
I
are
would
wide
think it would
open.
be hard because
After her
I'm
death,
always having to
medicines have
flip
been
the shit
looking into
around,
these
right?
pictures, and some believe that her eyes, her pupils look dilated.
But people adapt. They do it. They know what they're doing. I suppose if I had no choice, right?
Just like almost burritoed her in this blanket. And these are pictures that were taken months,
I'd find a way too.
perhaps even like a year or two before her death, and
So
they've
yeah.
been going viral after her.
168 bucks. That's what I'm rounding it off at. And I got plant fertilizer coming. I just have to find a good container to start the fermenting of that little teeny weeny piece of
There's
fish.
a man's hand in the photograph.
Throw in some
It does
leaves
appear to be her dad.
and let it
perhaps.
rot. That's what you do.
It's very
You let it
questionable.
rot.
It's a
And
strange
technically,
photo,
you're
but the
supposed to
most
let it
alarming
rot
photo
for
that
6
goes
weeks,
viral
6
after
months
Asunta's
at least,
death
if
is
not a
12-year-old
year.
Asunta in her ballet costume.
I can only
The costume
imagine.
itself, I imagine, is not suggestive.
But people do it.
I love the photo. I'm not gonna put it on here or
No,
even on Spotify.
I only do
I
it
don't
for a
think
month or
it's
so.
appropriate.
And then I'm going to stir it
Apparently,
around and start
everyone
using
had to
that
wear
when
this
I'm ready
ballet
to use it.
costume. But she is wearing
Try it out.
fishnet tights, a pair of shorts.
Okay, next day, it's late. I'm tired all day. Kind of have a headache. Obviously, eyes aren't doing that great. Anyway, I cooked up that bacon in a pot into pieces. Andre and I, we basically already ate it since yesterday. 40 bucks doesn't get you a lot in bacon, but that's the fat that was degreased from it, so I'm going to put that in the fridge now. At least we got that out of it, right? And a little snack. Those are my jars. That's that pork, basically. Unless it was turkey. Maybe it was ground turkey. I don't know. Could have been ground turkey, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Insidious,
Yeah. I
incremental
think it was ground turkey. And it was hamburger ground up with some, like, meat. Some kind of, something I ground it up with, I put garlic in it. But besides that point, it's in there now.
The German cabinet has approved a 67-page
I degreased it. It had a fair amount of grease on it, so the grease is gone.
Wartime,
Now,
detailing
I'm just
comprehensive
heating it up.
defense
Put it in
guidelines.
jars.
This is the first
And then that little
time
chicken was
in
a whole
decades
chicken.
that Germany has mentioned that they are currently under threat. Now, I must reiterate that Vladimir
teaspoon of
Putin
salt
has
in there.
said that he
That's
is
all it
not a
needs.
threat, and quite frankly, how could
The
he
chicken
be?
I cut up
He can
yesterday,
barely get
it was a
Ukraine
whole chicken.
under wraps. with the troops that he
I
has.
prefer a
So how
fuller
is he going
canner,
to pose a
so
threat
I'm
to
just going to
Germany?
can it up and be
Well,
done
here's
with
what they're
it.
preparing for, folks. They're
And then-
preparing for nuclear war under the guise of preparing for a conventional war.
Everything was fine
The
with the black cod.
300,000 strong force
Wash the jars
that they were
ready.
talking about and building out the
Finishing
5
up with the dehydrating
corridors that
of the
United States
cream
was going to
cheese.
swoop in
I had to
and
change
come
the
to the
paper
aid
towel
of
just
Europe.
right
That is
to
for
absorb
after
the oils.
nuclear bombs drop,
And,
I am convinced,
didn't like
because
the
there
apples,
is no
though.
reality that
All the
Russia is
juice
going to
ran
have
out
the
of them,
capacity to fight
so
a
they were kind of
conventional
bland,
war
so I just
with
put them in the
NATO.
compost.
Vladimir Putin has said as much.
Andre's
and
been
thus,
going
if
downstairs
they're
checking
talking
that
about a
freezer,
war
making sure the
between
door is
NATO
closed.
and Russia, they're talking about
I think
a
what
nuclear
happened
one,
was
or in the very least, a
it was accumulating
limited
ice in the
tactical
back
nuclear
because
one.
it couldn't, couldn't blow out,
The
right?
Forex.com
And
app.
I think
Use one
the ice
swipe
was just
trading
getting
to
bigger
enjoy
and bigger
lightning fast
because I
trading
managed to
wherever
grab a
you
few
are,
chunks of
offering
ice,
advanced
and I
trading
think what
view
it did
charts
is
and analyst
it
tools
pushed
with real-time
the door
trading
open.
and order
Yeah,
alerts.
lucky
Trade
me, I
anytime,
found it just in
anywhere,
time.
with access to full
Yeah.
account management features and exclusive performance analytics.
So there's that whole little chicken. The other jars are already in there. I don't know, people. I'm so worn out. My eyes are giving me a headache. I think all that lifting and everything. And plus, I did the fish last night, too. Right? I'm standing here for an hour and a half. I guess I've been pretty busy, so it's to be expected, right? Again, I like doing it this way because then I can top off with that liquid. Right? Also, too, when you're dealing with chicken... Andre, please be quiet. When you're dealing with chicken, the breast swells, right? So, by doing it this way, you kind of, like when it heats up, right? So, when you do it this way, it kind of swells, so when you put it in a jar, it's not going to swell anymore and push up your lid. Technically, it shouldn't. Right? And plus, I just got so much on my mind. Like, I don't understand my kids. Like, Tisha, seriously, I'd like to see Alex, her hubby, right? Andre, please be quiet, I'm talking. Have a long-lost cousin. Doesn't matter, male or female, right? Move in with them. And the cousin moves in because it's the cousin to Alex, right? There's a bond, And that one is a little bit of a viper. And wants space. And just does what happened to me, but only do it to Tisha, where she comes home and starts finding her shit all stacked up in a pile, and maybe it's out in the garbage, or maybe it was given away, and she's like, well, where's my stuff? And it'd be like, well, God, it's not here now because I needed more space. Didn't you know I'm going to be living here for a couple of years now? Get used to it. It's my cousin. He said I could. Right? I'd like to see what Tisha would do. Oh, God. She'd fucking flip out, people. It would be a big brawl. Literally, it would be a freaking brawl. Everybody would be brawling. I didn't take it to a brawl. Like, whatever. The only reason she wants me to be copacetic with whatever's been going on around here is because she doesn't want the responsibility of me, Amari, and Andre. That's it. That's the only reason. And she got mad at me when I was at the eye doctor because I put pressure on her, because I told her, you really need to take what I'm going through serious, right? I'm trying to let you know that, I'm not frightened, quote unquote frightened, but when you can't... Andre! Shut up! I have a headache! when you can't go back and get your eyesight back, there's just no going back. With the prospect of it getting worse, not better, because you can't go back. She just stuck on living on an island with the perfect kids, with the perfect fucking outfit on, growing the perfect garden, even though she doesn't know how to garden. Right? I'm just saying. And basically walked away from her family because her little family that she's got is enough for her. In terms of, I don't know, people. It's just, people are hateful these days. And like, if I had money, it would be different. If I would have won the... Andre, shut up before I take it away from you! I'm not gonna compete! If I had money, if I would have won that lawsuit, anyone that I filed, and had a little bit of money, it would be different. If I wouldn't have never done a foundation and spent money on that crap and hoarded my money and was a mean person and selfish and greedy and penny pincher and and that kind of person, and mistreated people just so that I could get more money to hang on to so that I could go off and buy a house and then buy another house and have that seniority in society, then I would be treated different. I know it. I know it for a fact. I listen to, YouTube and these people that are YouTube popular, right? It's all money. It's just, if they're not bragging about what they have, they're beating up somebody for something that they don't have. Because I'm like, well, where is Tisha getting this from? Because she never used to be this way. And it's social media. Like, in terms of things that she watches and listens to, and TikTok, and Snapchat, and Facebook, and just whatever, right? Like, it's just, you bombarded with it, eh? I mean, low-lifers bragging on about what the fuck they got and how they got it, and really just are so shallow that, but for whatever reason is convincing so many people that that's how to be successful in life. Like I said, if this happened to Tisha, what happened to me is she would just chucked it out. She just would have thrown it out. She wouldn't have taken the time to do this, never mind with a freaking headache and poor eyesight. That was turkey. I remember buying that. That was ground turkey. And I had to buy it in those tubes already kind of because, it was the better deal. And it wasn't really much I could find at that time. That's when I was back in the day doing my little turkey thing. I got 5 jars here for this chicken. I got 8 jars with the turkey with some broth. That's ground up, right? A little bit left over in the pot for maybe something tomorrow. We'll see. And yeah. So basically I saved myself $150, $160 by just doing this. Where Tisha would just have thrown it out. But I'm the bad parent here because I didn't teach her anything. Yeah, okay. She doesn't want to learn this, people. She's not interested in this. And by the time she needs to do it, because she might not have a fucking choice to do it, I won't be around to show her. And because she walked away from everything that I own, because as far as she's concerned, it's useless for the most part, unless it's really intriguing and she really wants it. But she never says thank you for it when she does take it. I say to her, aren't you going to say thank you? Oh, thank you. Like, she lost something along the way. And she never used to be this way. Just like my son. My son didn't care about that food storage area for 14 years. It sat in peace. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, I couldn't get into it for 2 freaking years. And then it just got completely raided. Well, my son, he didn't do it per se, quote unquote, but he condoned it, and then he tried to tidy it up after the fact to try and smooth things over, right? But the damage, the psychological damage is already done. You know, the trauma, right, is already done. So, but whatever. I'm going to give myself a week upstairs. I have to do laundry, man, because, you know, I did a detour. Not once, but twice. I went downstairs for 2 days, and then I've been dealing with this for 2 days, plus I did the 1 day with my eye. So I definitely got to do some laundry here and just continue doing what I was doing, right? And then I'm going to approach my son to see if he'll brace up the things that I want him to just make it a little more stronger, to hold a little more weight. And then we can start moving things. And then when I'm in there, I'll know basically. I won't maybe know everything, but I've got a pretty good memory. I know what's in there, for the most part. They're foolish, but they're not that foolish, you know. I don't think they threw out. I don't know what they threw out. So anyway, I like to let this cool after I do that, enough so that I can hold it in my hand and then pick it up and put it in the jar and make it snug, and then pour the liquid in. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut my ties with Tisha for a while. I have to. She doesn't leave me much choice. No, it just comes out of nowhere. Right? She doesn't like, I don't know, pressure, responsibility. I hope for her sake, I'm not going to dwell on other people, I can't. I hope for her sake that she doesn't get glaucoma and end up like me. Yeah, sitting up on some island with a freaked up world where you can't get your eye drops. Yeah, because the shipment didn't come in and the world is still at war. Or it blew itself half apart, where, you know, we're kind of going back into the Stone Ages. I was listening to Canadian Prepper, and he always doing his little updates on what's going on. Shut up, Andre! How things are escalating between everybody that's involved with war talk. Andre, please! I will take it away from you. You shut up!
What are you talking about?
You're getting too loud!
I said, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about war! And books! Shut up! He was talking about how Germany, and I think it was Germany, some country like that, some country out that way, they wrote 67 pages basically of legislation preparing for war, where the government can come in take your shit for, you know, the greater general population so that they can ration out whatever it is that they've got in terms of food when it comes to a government, one meal a day. Talking about wheat and, you know, rye and those kind of, like, wheat berries and stuff that I have, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay. Right? But no, they wrote 67 pages and they're telling people to make their own little bunkers and stuff and not depend on the government outside of maybe a one meal ration a day, right? After they go around taking everything from everybody, wherever they can take it from, regardless of what it is that they're taking. And yeah, you need to, you know, bunker down in your own makeshift bunker because they're not going to supply shelters for that type of situation when it comes to bombs and all that other crap, right? And then, you know, talked about the destruction that will come around that situation if it should happen, and how books will become hard to find through the destruction of everything around town, right? You know what I mean? And then when I heard that, I'm looking at my books and, you know, I've got some really nice encyclopedias, old, they're like this thick, and they're big. They're about that long. Yeah, they're up there, a whole stack of them. About that long, about that wide, and at least 4 inches thick, if not a little more. And then I've got this one dictionary over here. It's kind of tattered, but this thing is like this, that thick, about that long, about that wide, and whatever they're stating in it is like, goes back from like 1500, 1700. It, you know, all these different names of different people and situations, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know, what should I do with this? Try and sell it, or should I keep it? Would anybody in my house even care to try and read it? And, you know, like if Shmay was here, I know Shmay would say, keep it, Mom, but obviously Tisha doesn't care. My son, you know, I don't know, he used to like to read that kind of stuff. You know, I mean, the only reason I would keep it would be for him and maybe Marcane, and if it managed to stick with the family long enough and shit really did hit the fan, and, you know, it's like, well, are you like, like, I don't know how feasible it is, but it's a very nice book. Maybe one day I'll show you. Like, it's so unique, just the way it was printed in 1958. That's why. Yeah, I remember. I think I read 1958. It was printed. And then I've got other books kind of like along those lines, right? Not to mention tons and tons and tons and tons of National Geographics. Like, I'm debating, should I try and sell all my National Geographics and just get rid of them because everybody thinks they're just trash anyway? And then I'm like, well, you know, what happens if shit did hit the fan and things really did slow down, and, you know, it might be a time when you'd want to have to look at those books because, you know, it's educational and it's got beautiful pictures, and, yeah, and then the school books and the math books and the reading and writing books and the science books, and, but, you know, like, I don't know. People. That's not what people want. People want money. They want a house to sell so that they can have money. That's what they want. They don't want knowledge. No. Knowledge is obsolete. So are mothers. Mothers are obsolete too. Okay, so I'm going to just end this video now because they get long. And it's already 11:45 p.m. We're in the p.m. That's done. So I'm not even going to touch it for the night. The fish, oh, I don't have my glasses. But the fish turned out really nice. I didn't put no oil, nothing, just a little teeny weeny bit of salt. Right? I want you to hear something here. Let's see. Where's that jar? Of course I can't see it now. There it is. Okay, I'm going to explain something to you here. Okay? Let me just get my glasses. Stay quiet. Crying out loud. I've been asking him for an hour to get off. He wants to finish. No. So anyway, we'll start with, hear this, listen to it. Right? And then we're going to listen to this one. What do you think? Doesn't that sound hollow? Although it doesn't really look like the lid popped. There's something on it right now. I don't know why, but there is. It is sticky. It's sticky. This is, what is this? This is old, whatever it is. Pickles. Sour. Looks like 2017. I can't see it, but it probably still looks pretty good. What's suspect? I mean, it's not like it's bulging, right? If it was bulging like that, then for sure you don't want to eat it. But it's not bulging. Do you see that? But sometimes jars will poof, release air, and suck themselves back in. To which this one may have done that already. Just by the very way it sounds. Now the other thing could be, but then if you look at the headspace here, this dropped. Okay? When I had it in there, and I didn't put no water, nothing. I canned it as is. Okay, it's actually a really nice fish. It cut really well. Yeah. So I want to get more. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get it. But in the meantime, I'm happy with what I got, and I'm glad I didn't throw it out. I was going to give that little piece to Matilda the raccoon, but I got a milk jug, so I think I'm going to just chop it up into smaller pieces and put it in the milk jug for now. Put a hole in the milk jug, put the lid on it. Just a small hole, enough for air to vent out. And, I don't know. I got to put it someplace where a raccoon won't find it. Right? Because I'm not in the mood to be running around looking for heavy-duty buckets. Never mind putting holes in them on the lid if I can't even find one, so I'm not even going to try. Right, you can hear it. Sounds kind of tinny, right? Or this one sounds hollow. So that could be a sign of this no good. I have not opened this yet. Now, if air got inside, and has been there for any length of time, and the lid, right? Because of what we're hearing, the lid underneath could very well be rusted. So this thing has been sitting here getting on my nerves, so we'll deal with it now. Same thing with the smaller jars. You can hear it. Sounds tinny, right? This one sounds hollow. So why don't we look? Why don't we look? Deal with the problem. I'm either going to keep it or I'm not. And because it's pickles and brine, sour, whatever, it can go in the compost if it's open. No problem. Yeah, that hardly had any seal on it, however. Okay. Do you see what's happening here? So that's compost. For what it's worth. Because underneath is compromised. And you also heard that something happened at some point. So, keep that in mind if you do stuff like this. Because after a while, your jars do start to accumulate, and every now and then you'll come across one that will look like it's sealed, but will sound like it's not. And I just walked you through the steps, right? Now, if the lid was looking really good underneath, well, then maybe I could, you know, like, I don't know, sound is an indicator. So just keep that in mind. Okay, yeah, right, I'm going to finish this video. I'm tired. I've put in some really hard days here, okay? 2 days of canning, 2 days of working in Auntie Chemay's room, and 1 day going to the eye doctor and being thoroughly insulted by my daughter after the fact. Okay. So I just want to address that quickly, and I think I'm going to name this video Poor Mothers Are Obsolete. Yeah. Because she's basically written me off in an emotional sense. Anything that she's done for me with Amari taking him to an appointment, I don't know, people. I just don't know. Like, I don't think she does it with resentment, but I don't know. I think she's really just frustrated with her own life, and the reality of being a mother to 2 small children is kicking in, and you know, Kyrie has issues with his bowel movements where he's, you know, she's gonna take him to the doctor. But, like, I mean, if that can't be corrected, and who knows what it's going to take to correct it, I'm wondering if he's allergic to wheat, because she probably feeds him bread. I know we do when he's here. And, you know, crackers and that kind of stuff, right? People who are intolerant to wheat, I don't think they can eat anything when it comes to wheat, and they can't even have the powder of wheat for some people, because, you know, when I bought my food mill, which I haven't used it yet, right? I will one day, to grind up the wheat and the beans or whatever, rice, whatever I want, I can do it now, right? Just haven't done it yet. If you're gonna go down that road, ideally you want 2 food mills. One where wheat products are being used, and one where beans and that type of thing, perhaps rice, I'm not sure, but beans for sure, is only used in that food mill for those that can't eat wheat. Yeah. Because it's not even a good idea to grind up the beans with the, after you've done, like, do a batch of wheat and then come back 2 hours later and grind up beans without a thorough clean. That's enough to trigger digestive issues in people who are allergic to wheat. And Kyrie is already somewhat allergic, well, he is allergic to milk products. I told Tisha to keep nursing him. She didn't listen to me. She stopped him too soon. Breastfeeding really does help to prevent those things. No guarantees though, right? So, but it's not like I can explain it to her. Like, you know, maybe you... I'm sure she'll get him tested for allergies, I would think. Right? That would be the first place to start, I would think. And then if it does come out where, like, he's allergic to wheat, oh my God. But she wouldn't listen to me. Oh, you need to get a food mill and start grinding beans up, and maybe he's not allergic to rice. And I don't know, but I don't think rice is considered a wheat. And also too, you have to remember too, a lot of these foods that we eat now, there's this, they call it glyphosate or something, that comes from I think Roundup, right? For the bigger farmers. That Andre, shut up! I've asked you to get off. And see, now we're building up to this Nana getting mad stage, where I'm going to end up taking this thing away from you in the next couple of days.
Okay, can I just have this a little bit last a little bit longer? Just like a little bit longer?
It's time to get off, so tell everybody you're getting off soon.
Okay.
Always competing with the bloody thing. But it's just that. At least he doesn't have a cell phone. Tisha lets Alea May, 5.5 years old, have a cell phone. And she lets Kyrie play with the cell phone that she has. And he's flipping this thing. But yeah, no, you know, like, she might have to go on to a very stringent, monitored diet for him. And the only way she's going to get that is if she makes it. Right? And she won't listen to me, though. Fuck no. Because I'm obsolete. I'm not feeling sorry for myself here, people. It's just par and par of, I think, losing half of your family. You know? I mean, come on. I'm still talking about it all these years. You don't think that they don't think about it? They might not talk about it, but you know they're thinking about it, right? You know they're missing Uncle John. You know they're missing Shimei. You know they're missing Sierra. You know they're missing the good old days. You know they don't understand what the fuck happened to them, but yet they're expected to act like nothing happened to them. Okay? I'm just, not making excuses for them either. But, and social media definitely plays a big role. Yeah, it really does, because it brings out the keyboard Rambo in people in real life, because, they're so caught up with it on the internet that eventually it kind of just merges together, right? In terms of behavior. They see somebody hating on their mother, acting like little bitches, or whatever, and, it becomes like normal behavior, so that when they get pissed off at their own mother, it's nothing to say. I don't like you. I really don't like you. Well, I'm surprised you didn't say, I hate you. Because I've gotten that one too, right? This time she just said, I don't like you. I don't really like you. And I'm like, well, fuck, if that's the case, forget it. Like, just don't fucking call me then. Like, fuck, man. Like, I'm sick and tired of it. Like, how old are you? Like, act your bloody age. Right? And if that's the way you feel, then you're toxic to me. You know? She doesn't want to help me with the foundation. Yeah, she doesn't want to do nothing for nobody. Right? And she resents the fact that I still think about it. Yeah. And that I would spend what little money I do have, perhaps somewhere else where it benefits other people in whatever manner I do it in. Right? Like if I was to do a park event, that would benefit other people, right? She won't acknowledge how I just want to connect with the past, and you know, like you. Okay, I am going to end this video now. I heard my son out in the garage. I went down there. I left him alone when he got home from his so-called my honeymoon for a couple of days. Not to agitate him, to brace up that freaking fucking Edgar's little shelf. And maybe try and just tighten up that little wall unit, and you know I was talking about, right? Whether taking it apart or just bracing it up so it can hold a bit more weight, right? I go into the garage, people, and him and Marina are tearing it apart. Now he already put out a dresser there in the garage that's been basically gotten ruined because of the elements and the leaky fucking porch. It's full of like curtain hooks and those kind of things, right? Like computer cords, whatever, just miscellaneous stuff, casters, you know. And he taking it outside. And like I had a wall unit in there. Now, mind you, it's been there 14 years. And I knew he was going to do it sooner or later, and I had no problem with it, people. But like, fuck, let's just finish one thing first before you start another thing. Just, you know, like, it's just that fucking bitch. She fucking eggs him on. I'm telling you. So of course I'm in shock. Because all my, you know, when I used to do park events, my water coolers, my, you know, those kind of things, they were on that shelf, right? And he wants to take out that dresser. He's already ruined it. When she moved in, I said, you put it outside, under, you know, outside, out of the garage. But it's moldy. I said, yeah, well, no kidding. The fucking garage is like, look at the garage. You think I'm stupid? As if I don't fucking know? Like, who ruined it? You did. You're the one that made it all moldy, not me. And now he wants to really ruin it and ruin everything else that's inside of it, which is still somewhat. I don't have the time to fucking deal with this shit right now, people. And they're just dragging everything out. And he wants to go on the other side and pull everything out of fucking there. Like, what the fuck? Because things smell moldy. Well, yeah, it's a moldy fucking garage. The whole fucking garage, the whole fucking porch needs to be tore down, people. The whole fucking porch needs to be tore down and rebuilt. But my landlords won't do that because they're selling the house for the property developer, remember? You take it as is, right? I ain't fixing something. You don't like it, you can move. If you want it fixed, you fix it. If you want the porch fixed, you fix it. I've been trying to fix that fucking porch for fucking 14 fucking years, okay? And the thing is slowly but surely just ready to come crumbling down. Because it's molding out. Rotten wood all over the place, for crying out loud. But, you know, you can't do that. You can't start tearing down Mrs. Gill's porch. God forbid. Anyway, he didn't want to talk to me. And I'm like, yeah, well, you don't want to talk to me. Like, you can't even talk to me 5, 10 fucking minutes. Like, what the fuck? I come down here and I'm like, whoa. Like it's like I got punched again out, but not with one person punching on me, but two people fucking punching on me, with Tisha fucking kicking me in the fucking ass. Like, what the fuck is wrong? And I told him, what is wrong with your fucking generation? Like, there's seriously something fucking wrong with you people. I'm sorry, butt hurt your feeling. No, you didn't fucking, it's like, whatever, right? Like, you fucking down talk to me like I'm fucking stupid. I said, I'm 63, you're fucking 30, as if I don't know what the fuck is going on in that stupid fucking garage. I have been dealing with it for years, people. I haven't even gotten into the X Club to do my annual fucking demold. Because of the leaky fucking roof, rotten wood, and everything else. Like, come on. So now he's going to take all my coolers, everything, and just take them and throw them in the backyard. And they're going to get right on, they get all fucking eligible. I'd have to wash them anyway. But, like, it's fucking stupid. Like, I want to deal with the basement. I went down there, I said, look, what do you want? Tell me now. I'm busy. And I'm like, well, fuck, I gave you $100, right? Because he was starting to bitch on about, well, you want me to do this, and I said, well, I did pay you, I did give you $100. Like, did you forget? Oh, yeah, right, right, he did. Yeah, well, fuck, if you want me to move that stuff, what stuff? I said, that stuff that I don't even know is fucking there anymore. Then he looked at Marina, yeah, fucking right, because I don't even know what's there anymore, people. Oh, you want to store more of your stuff? Well, yeah, well, I don't know. It looks like you got it all ready to fucking load up into the truck and take it to the fucking dump for all I know. You want me to fucking move it, but you're building another fucking pile for me to fucking, so you can down talk me, criticize me, accuse me of this, say I'm this, or whatever. Like, fuck, man. Stupid, man. So fucking stupid. And then Tisha wonders why I hate my life. Yeah. I got a shitty fucking daughter that's completely self-centered. She'll spend $1,200 on a fucking tattoo. Seriously, people, she puts fucking tattoos on her back, spends fucking $1,200 for stupid fucking tattoos. She owes me $1,200, but do you think she'll fucking come here and help me when I have the energy for it? No. When I went for that eye operation thing there, she had the kids for about a week, right? And she owed me money, $300. I told her to fucking keep it. And to this day, she's still not happy that was not enough money to give to her to look after the kids while I was recuperating from fucking eye surgery. I guess that's why she doesn't help me with the $1,200 that she owes me. Right? And then if she phones up and says, can I get, money? If I say no, she gets mad. Because it's just a matter of time before she fucking acts out. And that's exactly what she fucking did. Well, I got my son downstairs now, fucking humiliating me, gaslighting me, insulting me, right? Catering to his fucking so-called wife, who says, oh, calm down, calm. This is all transient. And I'm like, yeah, fucking right, it's fucking transient. It won't be long before I'm fucking dead. That's how fucking transient it's gonna be. And they can thank themselves for that stupid shit. Right along with fucking Tisha. Pretty much. Yeah. And they can pillage whatever they fucking want, because they're not gonna find too much other than garbage and junk. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry I was a poor mom. Sorry I went out and put my ass out in the community and tried to fucking do something right with a whole bunch of criminals running around me, not realizing that they were fucking criminals and setting me up for fucking failure. Yeah, yeah. Where my son can't even fucking move because he thinks he can't afford it, where I'm stuck in a literal nightmare because of the corruption within my province. As India, Punjab, is burning up with 50 degrees Celsius, and they're all moving into Canada and chopping down all the fucking trees so they can build their stupid monster houses as they capitalize off of illegal organ harvesting for the ones that are of criminal mind. Just go to the temple and you'll see for yourself how many have criminal mind in terms of come here, get as much money as they can get by any means fucking necessary. When if it's not the Chinese, if it's not the fucking Muslims, or whoever, chopping down tree after tree after tree, you know? And then they wonder why the world is heating up. Yeah, okay. As they're driving fucking Canadians crazy because they can't fucking move. Because they're stuck. They're stuck in whatever it is hole that they live in. Because there is no quote unquote affordable housing. Yeah. I only have so many hours in a day. I only have so much energy in a day. I can only do so much in a day. I spent 2 hard fucking days downstairs with them gone. I came with another solution. I'm being balked at, ridiculed, mocked, trivialized with it, as in, just ignore the bitch, she's a transient. She's a hobo. She's a nobody. She's unimportant. Don't worry. If we stress her out enough, it won't be long before she's dead and the problem will be away. Will go away. And then you can be my knight in shining armor. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done with this video. I'm fucking done with this video. So, for whatever reason, I managed to get that food before it completely spoiled. That's turkey. I got 8 of those. I put them at $3 a jar. 8, 16, $24 in turkey, at least. I got 4 of these, which is chopped up chicken at $15 a whole bird with bones included. And then, of course, we did the black cod, which was the most expensive out of everything. And then we did the cream cheese, 7 of them at $4 a pack on sale, which would have been $28. And that's what 7 cream cheese got me after it got dehydrated. I should phone up Riley. I'm going to phone up Riley and see if he wants those coolers, if they don't want them, because they go camping. Because now that he's moved them and he's just going to chuck them into the backyard, I have no place for them because I'm being evicted from my house. Because I'm a transient. I represent a hobo that's not even worth scraping off the cement when you walk past them and spit on them. Okay, I was going to do a quick little video here. My son is having his reception tomorrow with the wedding. What I recorded first time around was just the official paperwork and the wedding, quote unquote, but now they're having the reception very soon, but I'm not going because, you know, I don't want to be a party pooper with myself and Amari, because if Amari starts fussing and won't stop fussing, then, you know, I'm dependent on people to drive me home or whatever, right? And then, I don't see that well, and it's a long day, and, so I'm staying home anyway. So, but before that happens, I kind of have to do some of this. Remember I told you I bought some potatoes? Now I got more potatoes in my room, but these ones are red potatoes. We're going to do this quick little video with the red potatoes, because my grandson's going to take the camera and record until it just doesn't record anymore, whatever's going on at that reception. So in the meantime, I paid $10 for 20 pounds of red tomatoes. I'm sorry, red potatoes. $10. It used to be $8, so they increased it by 2. They hold up pretty good, but at the end of the day, I'm always busy, don't get to them fast enough, whatever. Plus, I did all those French fries from McCain's and whatever, and, I kind of want a comparison. Now, I've got dehydrated potatoes that I've blanched in the house from way back in the day, as well as a few years back. But besides that point, these ones, I'm going to do them 2 kinds of ways. I am dehydrating them. I've washed them. I got a bowl there of water, and I'm going to fill up another bowl with some water. And I'm going to peel these with my little knife. I'm still able to do that, even though I don't see very well. I'll have Andre come in here and look for any bad spots, just in case I missed. Well, it's not a question of missing. I wouldn't see them anyway. But that one could be suspect, or it could be just where that's where the root was. So either or. I'm going to peel them. So you know how that you can have fried potato skins. So I will probably I'm going to peel them, and I'm going to have the potato skins in one bowl and the potatoes in another bowl, and then I'm going to cut the potatoes into French fries, let them sit for a bit, and any starch that's in these potatoes will settle to the bottom, to which you can dehydrate after you drain off the liquid, and you get potato starch. As well as, I'm going to probably blanch the potato skins just like I would blanch the potatoes after they've been cut before I put them in the dehydrator. But I'm also going to probably blanch the potato skins and dehydrate them as well after the fact. Right? Otherwise, I'd blanch them and I'd put them in my freezer. Now, I do have, I suppose, a little bit of space in my freezer that I can just blanch them, right, cool them down, and then drain them, pat them dry, maybe with a paper towel quickly, and then I'm just going to throw them into the bag as is. If I had more freezer space, I'd freeze them individually, all laid out nice, but I don't, so I'm just going to throw a few in a bag, and maybe I'll freeze them, and I'll just see what happens after I unthaw them and how they fry up, or maybe bake in the oven or something. The point is we want to get every penny on the potato. So that's probably what I'm going to call this video, every penny on the potato, because, food is getting more and more expensive, and the more you can utilize your dollar amount, even when you're doing the meat and whatever, and you make the chicken fat, from the fat, and you make the lard, or like the chicken fat lard, right, blah, the cracklings, it all starts to add up. So hold on a minute. Okay, so I don't know how much starch are in these potatoes, but Andre and I, we actually don't mind fried potato skins, but I'm not frying these right now. I'm going to dehydrate these. Okay? You want to do this when they're coming in pretty fresh, right? As fresh as, I've had them for about a week or so they're in good shape. And these ones, if I put them in my room in a basket, and I cover up the basket with a box, and it's quite dark, they hold up pretty good for quite a long time, but they will start to sprout. So either or, once you blanch them, dehydrate them, they're going to be fine. And then just random size, obviously I can't see. I have a little utensil, but it's in my other pantry, and I can't get to it right now because I got stuff in front. I hardly wasted anything. Hardly wasted anything by doing it this way. So every penny on the potato, right? I think these are going to work out pretty good, actually. So now I'm just going to let them sit for a while, right? If there's any starch, you know, it will go to the bottom. It will settle. And this one's kind of big, so maybe I should cut that one and just make it a little smaller. So hold on a minute. So as you can see, potato pills just sitting there now, right? That's the little extra French fries. I don't think that's going nowhere. My strainer. And then after I'm just blanching them, put them in boiling water, and I don't know. These are potatoes, so, you know, they don't really need a lot of time, right? Either or, a minute or so, even before it comes to a boil, just enough to, whatever. I'm not too worried about it. And then I've got this here, and then, yeah, so just hold on.